Alright. Why the hell ain't there any music in this here place? Oh, right, it's because all my mods got taken down.
Oh no. You got
It's all good, it's all good. We're good, we're totally good.
Can you screen share
Oh.
from...
There we go. I'll tell you what, actually, because I think my computer's starting to get angry at me because it's trying to run mods that are looped.
I'll be right back.
So, you know what, I'm gonna quickly, while I'm doing the recap, I'm just gonna run the vanilla version of Tailspire, just because if not, then it'll probably be less painful for my computer. Okay, so, welcome back, everybody. Come on now. Look at me. There we go. Okay, so last session. What did we get up to last session? All kinds of good stuff. Yes, so you were at the Starlight Bistro. On the planet of... Because I'm really good at remembering all of this.
Trill!
No, we weren't on Terrell. We were on, Spelljammer, tell me. Anadia. You guys were on the planet of Anadia in the Powerpuff territory on the wreck of the Starlight Bistro Bastion.
Oh, yeah.
So from there, you guys were told by the El Capitan that you guys are going to make your way back to your original port of call, the Rock of Brawl. Captain Lunarbow thought it would be a good idea for you all to learn the ins and outs of the Rock of Brawl, as here in the Wild Space system of Realm Space, it is probably the best place to acquire jobs, goods, ships, what have you. Wanted you all to familiarize yourself with the space. So he said, go out there, find some work, bring us your opportunities, and we'll make a decision on what to do. And that you have done. You've gone out. Everybody has gone to their different places. Chaplain has begun to formally introduce himself to his god in all glitter gold. What else? We've got Zalace met up with a criminal contact by the name of Benthina, who tells him about the Underbarons of this sort of lawless port of call here. He also mentions his psionic powers to Bassan, who intends to write for him a primer of sort of the basic astral philosophy passed down by the Githzerai. That might help him feel a little more confident in his power, rather than suppress it. What else? Oh yes, Chaplain and Bassan together went to Gaspar's Acquisitions and spoke with the proprietor, and they have received a contract to acquire a staff of healing for 400 gold pieces profit. Let's see what else. Bassan went to the Mages Guild Hall and spoke to the sorcerer Velma Crew. She explained, being a somewhat expert on Gith lore, she explained to Bassan the relics that she possessed, and that they belonged to the once famed Knight Anarch Tron, a great warrior of the Gith of Zeos, a faction of neutrally aligned Githzerai and Githyanki, who reside on the plane of the Outlands. However, Knight Archon Tron disappeared 100 years ago, and is amazed to see his relics. Lastly, Varsh went to Xeno Termination, LTD, because I can never remember what that means, and meets Jura, a 90-year-old black dragonborn barbarian, who seems to be sort of the leader of this crew, and offers the New Dawn a 50-50 split on a contract with a cosmic horror in the system, which is possibly pretty lucrative. Oh, yeah, just a small side note that Varsh is egg hatched into a ghost dragon, to which it's been called a lunar dragon by some. Just a very small side note that Varsh is now the owner and master of a maturing dragon by the name of Ethazith.
Etherith.
Etherith, there we are.
Too awesome.
Yeah, I knew I fucked up there somewhere. Anyway, that's that. You're all still in the Rock of Brawl. It is very late in the day. Very, very late in the day. Come on now. Work with me. No? Lost it. What would you all like to do? As a reminder, it is very late in the evening. Oh, you might have all gone to... I think you all went to bed at the end of the...
Yeah.
Okay, so you should all have sustained a long rest. Just fine. Oh man, the Tailspire is angry. We're gonna reopen the mod versions. That seemed to work better. But in the meantime, it's quite fun because I have something we don't need Tailspire for necessarily. But yes, Basan.
Very, very small communication. In my notes, it said that we were procuring the Staff of Healing for 4,000.
That's right.
Not 400. Okay. No.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but
Remember the 58 gold thing, and then Yvain became a monk. I'm just checking in.
I'm not so good
Absolutely.
with numbers either.
Absolutely, please do. I don't know why, but my brain decides that 1,000 and 100 and I don't know. They don't all mix up very well.
Let's go.
Good.
We're just checking in before I make any permanent character decisions that are going to affect the entire rest of their arc.
Absolutely. So yes, 1,000. Definitely 4,000. These should all be in the thousands of gold. Any work that is hundreds of gold is probably not worth picking up for an entire space gallery. So absolutely 4,000. Okay, we'll wait that to open. In the meantime, well, Spires being a little asshole, I'm just going to get something here. Okay, I'm going to use the U of the tube. Oh, this is ads. Love ads. Don't we love ads? Okay. As you all sit and dream, Varsh, Varsh, Varsh.
Yay!
No.
My monkey man, my good boy. You all sleep. You're on the floor with your dragon, your new dragon. Perhaps anxiety is with you. Perhaps there is some admitted excitement. The idea of being a legend only tells and story and song of probably greatly embellished bard tales of rangers who ride astride dragons. Such a thing is probably the envy of most rangers, so perhaps there is just a slight excitement in there too, with the anxiety and the trouble it's going to cause, perhaps. But as you go to sleep, dream a dream. It feels more conscious than most dreams do, more like a vision than an actual dream. You feel presence. You see sort of before you, sort of appearing almost in moonlight, that sort of scribbles itself out, and then becomes quite solid before your eyes, a moon-bathed key, the exact one that lays on your dragon's forehead. And then similarly scribbling itself out next, dagger, a rope, and other strange artifacts and items sort of wheel around into a circle of seemingly random handheld items that sort of twist and spin. You hear three voices overlapping over top of each other. How do you like your new power, Varsh Void Knights?
I have mixed feelings. On one hand, the dragon is a powerful creature to have as a companion. On the other, threatens to expose everything that I am and could jeopardize my position here aboard the New Dawn.
Are you not pleased with the path you walk? The strides you've taken, and those who have joined you along the way?
Kind of scowl at that. You know very well I would have much preferred to have stayed hidden in the astral sea.
You feel the darkness seems to... Gravity within the darkness almost seems to become twice-fold as you find yourself sort of struggling to stand tall. Make me a strength saving throw.
Ooh, I'm good at these.
Well, actually, I'll let you decide. It can either be a strength saving throw or it can be a wisdom saving throw. It is your choice.
I'll take the strength. Let's
Okay.
do this. This is a 25.
A 25. A 25. You feel the weight of the dream sort of pushing you down as if trying to bring you to your knees. But you resist the power of gravity and stand on your own feet. As you do this, you feel... You stand tall and you sort of resist. Is there anything you would say or do as you stand tall here?
Attention.
Oh, sorry, guys.
You are using the Asset Data plugin, but you have not downloaded and configured a required message distributor.
Pale spires.
Please
you
refer
talking
to the Asset Data plugin document.
Yeah, this is what you hear
But
this
my
entity
lady,
say.
what are you talking about?
Please
What do you mean?
download the necessary files to...
I say, do not pretend that you are doing me a favor. I'm merely a plaything for you.
At this point, you feel no strength in the universe could hold you upon your feet. As you are then thrust down, indeed, to your knees, there is no resistance at that point against what sort of pins you down onto your knees. And the voice becomes 3 times as loud, ringing around you, as those strange items seem to dance about you. And you say, "You are of course right, Varsh Voidlight. You are indeed my plaything and should be so honored to be gifted with great boons."
Yeah, I'm gonna roll something real quick just for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Honored. The path you're setting me on will no doubt lead to my ruin. How could I be honored to have everything taken away from me?
You feel the gravity sort of... You continue to resist, which is good, but you feel the gravity push you down even more to the point where your face is like pushed to the ground. And you can feel presence of like the 3 entities sort of around you, as if they were standing around, towering over you in this moment. And it says, "You, Varsh Voidlight, have such little faith. It is..." Oh no, I'm gonna say it. disturbing.
As I'm like struggling to like even like get my head off the ground, I will still do as instructed, but I cannot pretend to be happy about it.
Why, Varsh Voidlight, are you such a miserable creature? You have a matron of magnificent power at your beck and call, who honors you with great gift. You have the power and might and majesty of draconic fury behind you. For what is there to be so dowerful?
What purpose does this power have when I cannot even lift my own head? It's not mine.
You feel the gravity cease in that moment. Stops. You still feel the immense presence. The voice is sort of calm. Say, your life is your own, Varsh Voidlight, but there are debts to be paid to me. You were stagnant. Your despair made you roll up on the ground in your path, stagnant. You should be honored that I have moved you forward with your life, for there is nothing more of an end than the stagnation of despair.
Get to my feet and kind of glare at the objects circling me.
Mm-hmm.
Make your command, then. What would you have me do next?
I wonder, such willpower you have gained, such courage. I wonder if your life was your own, Varsh Voidlight. What would you do? Where would you go? If I allowed you the freedom of the plains, what is it that you would do? So wise and so ready a creature.
There's like a great deal of hesitance. I can't argue that your manipulation hasn't led me to friends and companions. While I would have preferred to have continued to rot in the astral, you've now given me responsibilities, connections that I cannot just sever. I'd remain with the crew, but my loyalty would therefore be with the crew.
Then go and honor your crew, and try not to squander the gift of draconic power I've bestowed upon you. And perhaps consider the benefits of trusting in the elder wisdom that I possess from eons of existence, whereas you are but a speck of dust on the mortal plane. Your wisdom pays. Know that I will treat you well, Varsh Voidlight, like it or not.
Yes, my lady.
feel the dream ceases, and you feel indeed that your matron, her ire, her perhaps disgust with your resilience leaves, but is quite palpable, and you awaken the next morning, not in a cold, freaked out sweat as you have before, perhaps, as you had some courage against your matron this time, but nonetheless maybe a little taken aback as you have witnessed divine fury.
Kind of like, because I'm like, I think I'm like sleeping my back to like the dragon. I kind of just lay there trying to reacquaint myself with reality.
Do you think Varsh Voidlight is struggling to hold on to reality?
I think there's a sense of like the more times reality almost crumbles away to be psychically spoken to, starts to mess with you a little bit.
All right, I'll allow totally your decision. But if you want to roll me a wisdom saving throw for potential madness, not a high DC, very low, but for fun, if you want to, don't have to, but if you want to.
Not this time, but we'll see how things pan out in the future.
Absolutely. And as you're there and you kind of feel your hands and you have that sort of it's strange moment where you know you're not dreaming anymore, whereas you were confident you weren't dreaming in the dream. Now you know you're not dreaming somehow. You maybe to your surprise, the sort of reptilian head of the lunar dragon, sort of with your strength, sort of curls around and positions itself like right in the crook of your hip on your lap, as it sort of subconsciously does that in its sleep. You look down and see the key on sort of imprinted on its forehead, the symbol of its obedience.
I give it a little pat, and there's still like a sort of sense of, I don't know, like kind of like, as much as it's nice to have like a little companion, the kind of that key is unsettling to see it. I don't like that symbol.
Fair enough. Is there anything anyone would like to do this morning, aside from try and hold on to the grips of reality?
Yes. I would like to, before we go and speak to the captain, try and speak to Osmata, who is one of the Underbarons on the dock.
Okay. Love it. Let's do it. Give me a moment. I'm just gonna pull that up. Put that info. All right. Where are you going to try and make contact with Osmata?
So I would imagine, well, we're obviously on the docks at the moment. We've docked, we've stayed on the ship. So I would just go down and have a walk around and ask a couple of people, where, and try to find any signs of where he would be. Obviously, there would be signs of, maybe some Thieves Guild guys around there, or maybe he's the dockmaster. I don't know, or part of the dockmasters. I'm not sure. So I'd have a look and talk around the docks first.
Got it. Will you be using Thieves' Camp?
Where I need to, yes.
Understood. Let's see. Make me an investigation check to see if you can't find, or an insight check. It could be an insight too, to sort of, figure out people and who might know what.
Okay. So 24 insight.
Woo! Damn good rolls today, people. Okay. You go asking around. You know, of his power basis, which is the docks, the lower city. You'll ask it around the docks. With that, you are going to learn some information about this individual. You're going to learn that Asmada is in control, sort of like their portion of power here is a thieves guild that is known as the Yakuza. That is what his thieves guild is called. That's the name. Sort of operating here in the city, and you go looking for members of the Yakuza. You do indeed find a number of individuals who can point you in the right direction. They say that you would be able to find members of the Yakuza by sort of intricate tattoos they possess. Some of them wear them openly, others do not. And sure enough, you find an individual with such a tattoo. Let's say that you are in the docks here in the lower city. So why don't we say, where is it? Let's say you go to the Rock Rat Dive-In or Dive Tavern, and you find one such individual with this sort of intricate, colorful tattoo that sort of runs down both arms that marks them. They also see that they have he has a strange set of swords on his hip, and yeah. Would you like to approach?
I would, yeah.
Very good, very good. You do so. I'm just going to see who we're dealing with here. God. There we go. He's young. You see he has short, curly red hair, brown eyes. Again, long tattoos, very lean built, very dexterously built. You approach. He's got a small scar on his lip as you get closer. He looks over at you. He says, "What do you want?"
Hi. And I'll starting Thieves Camp 2 and Zalace. I'm currently working aboard the New Dawn. I was just wondering whether you or your friends in the Yakuza matter mainly has any jobs that maybe need doing of a ship of our size. I just wanted to start by introducing myself and see whether there's anything we can help you with.
Make a persuasion check to see if he's willing to put some work your way.
11.
11. Says, "Bold little shit, aren't you?"
Well, I've been around. I know the way that Thieves Guild work. If you don't ask, you don't get.
You often just walk right up.
Well, it's the best way to start talking to people.
How do I know you're not from some other guild trying to gain some extra information? How do I know you're not with the Magistrate's Guard?
Oh, I mean, only you can discern that, but I can only tell you, I used to be with a guild. Not with them anymore. Due to certain facts, I just thought there might be some work. If you don't want us to do anything, that's fine. I can get up and walk away. That's easy. And I'll pull my chair out and start to get up and walk away.
Make a persuasion check.
Even my 7.
7. He lets you. But I will say, her being a criminal yourself, you know that by nature, they are, pretty shady, pretty cautious about who they do business with. They're not really. Most thieves guilds aren't open to strangers
Mhm.
unless there's an introduction. to get the sense you need an introduction if you want to gain work with these individuals. But luckily, you do know a thief on this rock.
Yeah.
Might be able to help you out, possibly.
Yeah, it wasn't until we started I thought about that, but then I didn't mention her name either, so that was on me. But okay. So I'll just leave and go back to the ship.
Got
Obviously,
it. You
just
leave.
keeping an eye out over my shoulder in the way just to make sure.
Okay, make me a perception check to see if you're being followed.
12.
Well, you can tell. It's fine.
Yep.
You know, the door might still be open. You just need to probably would be more convincing if you had an introduction.
Yeah.
Okay, make your way
Okay.
back to the ship. Anybody else have anything to do in the early hours?
Yeah. I'm on the main deck of the ship, but I will return to the town, the port, and I'd like to head for the temple district again, but this time I'd like to seek out the temple to Tyr.
Temple Tier. This one definitely has a larger presence than the Gnomish Pantheon. Now Glitter Gold is a very, very famous god, but not compared to Tyr, who has we're really not working now. You guys, sorry, my words not quite right. But not compared to Tyr. Tyr has a great many followers across the multiverse. He is a prevalent god of Yizgard and a mighty god of justice. And as you find your way there, you know, maybe his temple is a little bit more prominent, maybe a little bit of a larger room so people may visit. The room is only occupied by the busts of 3 gods, and you do indeed see the one-eyed, bearded warrior god Tyr, the god of justice. You sort of approach his bust.
I see. Let me think. Okay. I just wanted to see how easy it was to get into here this time. I'll be back with a plan later. So
Yeah.
This is more a scouting mission.
Understood. It does. Oh no. Oh no. Yep, you would find that the doors here in the Temple District are largely unlocked. There are monks and paladins who wander by and see you wander by and sort of take note and sort of wave in your direction, nod.
This is a relatively occupied one in general.
Tiers, yes.
Yeah.
You would, and like the rooms are usually occupied by a priest. In these like early hours, especially at like dawn, as much as it could be dawn here on the Rock of Brawl. There might be like a guard shift, so we call it, but every space is generally occupied in case people need questions or quandaries from a devout.
Great. No problem. All right. I just kind of is there can I get a sense of like how like just in this moment of how I guess influential, powerful is what I really want to know. The folks that are currently present are?
Sure, make me. It's called an investigation check because this is about sort of a tactical, intellectual assessment.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna use my inspiration since I got a 3. 17. That's better. 17.
Each room has like 2 individuals, which are priests. Some might be monk, some might be priest. Usually cleric, usually priest. Of a fairly mid-level, like nothing. And when I say mid, I don't mean like 10. I guess I mean more like maybe there's no real great way to tell, but you yourself are a cleric. You probably understand how religious clergy works. These guys are probably capable of some skill at divine magic. Maybe more than you, maybe not by much. But the grounds are seemingly occupied by other monks and paladins who, they get the sense they probably know how to fend off anyone looking to take stuff. It's a fairly lawless place, and people are expected to protect themselves.
So
you get
there's
the sense
some,
the places.
there's some degree
Yes.
of vigilance then.
Yes, absolutely. You get the sense everyone here is capable of at least some divine magic, if not martial prowess.
And are relatively alert.
Yeah, relatively alert. This is a fairly lawless community, so yeah.
Got it. All right. Yeah, that's all for now.
Cool. I will say though, Chaplain, what you're thinking, you're certainly not going to throw it in your bag, knock out the guard, and walk out the door. It might not be that
No.
easy, but it is certainly
No.
possible for the keen
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
I was thinking something more in the fun of lighthearted vandalism. We'll see.
It's possible. It's very, very possible. Is there anybody else who's anything to do in the morning here? Yes, Basan?
Above the table, that's big jester energy. That
is big jester energy.
Jester energy, and I'm here for it so much. All right. Bisan would like to go to the captain and communicate what she's learned from Velma, and then ask for the pamphlet back, just temporarily, to go to the library, because you said there was a library. Or
Yeah.
Velma said that there was the biggest, most importantest library in the history of libraries here.
It's a pretty super cool library, yeah. And he absolutely gives it back to you as he read it. And it is basically a small paperback. And yeah, gives it back to you. Says very interesting. You tell he invites you in for breakfast. He's having his private breakfast. He invites you in, have a croissant or something. And he tells you, and he asks you about it, and you talk about it, and you talk about the lore that you have learned. He says, very interesting. I mean, there isn't much call for Spelljammer work within a plane, but it's very similar to if you would land on a material plane, so perhaps worth checking out one of these days. If that is what you desire. I imagine such a idealistic faction might have few resources. I could be wrong, but perhaps there's work to be done there.
Yes. Have you ever seen what they do with the illithid?
What they do? Who is they specifically?
The illithid.
Have I ever seen what the illithid do with mind flayers? I don't understand the question.
Have you ever seen someone the illithid have touched?
Ah. Someone who has endured their trials, Jean-Paul. Well, they sort of gestures. I suppose I have. I'm sure I've run into a couple people too. Not many make it out alive.
But they never had me. I was the last one standing. There was another when we met. Spelljamming. I think
you mentioned.
He went with the orcs, I think. But he'd been in a cage. There's more to the world, to everything, than I was taught as a hatchling. Maybe there's more to them. I should have
Yankee.
I should have killed him. The Anarchs would have said that I dominated him, forced him to his death on our planet. I didn't do that. I didn't have to. We cooperated. It's unheard of. I would have to answer for that. It's why I have not gone back to Limbo.
Hassan, I am not an elf of peace. Clearly, I mean, some might say I'm doing well for myself, but not as well as I was doing during the war. I am a warrior. I am a defender of the innocent. I am an elf of action. And good and bad is very black and white, is very easy to understand. The Scrow versus everybody else. And that I understand. I leave it to the philosophers. They will speak of the goodness of all versus everyone has their goods and their evils and generalizations and so on and so on. I've dabbled in such philosophy, but it's good and evil is more easy to understand. The Scrow, in large part, deserve our wrath. They came for vengeance. They did terrible things for the multiverse. I wholeheartedly believe they got what they deserved from the Elven Armada. I have no doubt there were isolated incidents of brutality from the elves. I have no doubt in my mind. But in large, and from what I know of your people, Hassan, I admittedly know very little of the Zerai. They are very isolated people. You would know more than I would, certainly. But I have seen what Githyanki do to villages. They come in dark night on their astral skips, and they rain fire down on these villages, burn them to crisp without provocation. They attack quick and fast, so they have no time to rally at proper defense. Burn the villages down, slaughter the warriors, and they take all the bounty they wish, except for just enough to allow the village to get back on their feet. They mark it off, they set a time to return, and usually they come back in 50 to 100 years, once they've had a chance to recover and regain their wealth, and then they do it again. And that is just their raiding targets. There's nothing to say of military targets, what they do to their prisoners. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that somewhere in the multiverse, indeed, this wonderful neutrality has blossomed between Zerai and Yankee, and that's a wonderful hope for peace. But if I were to look at it black and white, I would say to you and advise to be very careful in trying to offer mercy to the Yankee, because they will not give you any hope. Just be careful. That's all I say.
Noted. I will be careful.
And please, I don't mean to dissuade you. I'm more than happy to continue to hear of your exploits. It's very interesting. And I'll be happy to support you. Just be careful. This is all.
And Bisan will head off to the library.
Off to the library. Hey, we will pop into that in a moment's time. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to do? I will say the captain's giving you, because you guys came into port in the late evening. He probably doesn't expect many of you to have wrangled incredible work by now, which some of you have, which is incredible. But he's going to give you the day too. So yes, Varsh, is there anything you'd like to do this early morning today?
I would like to head to the market to do two things. One, I need to feed my dragon. And second, I want to see if I can pick up some studded leather armor.
Studded leather armor can be done, I have no doubt. Let's see. So here's what I'm gonna say. When's the last time I paid you all? Do you remember when that was? I'm gonna start keeping track of that.
As far as an ongoing wage, I think it's been a couple of days.
It's been. Remember when we first landed at the Starlight Bistro? Like not like when we finished with the ghost pirates, and then we landed at. That was the last time you paid us.
Got it. So when you landed at the bistro after dealing with Gender Sun Star.
Correct.
Gender Sun Star. Cool. Okay, so let's take care of
Yeah,
that.
because
now.
I joined, and that's and I missed out on that one. Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay.
You paid us right before he joined.
Incredible. In that case, let's just handle that for a hot moment.
Thank you.
Because you're in market, might as well have some coins in your pocket. Let's see here. So, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, Mama Dog.
And today is day 4, so everybody will gain. That's going to be 8 gold. You, Mr. Voidlight, they will feed your dragon, but it will come out of your pocket if you wish.
Okay.
Which is going to be a -5 silver each day. So you'll be making 1 gold, 5 silver each day as of now.
Okay.
Cool. So you would have gained the 2 gold for the first 2 days, and then you would have been on the 1.5 for the following 2 days.
So that's 7 silver total. Not 7 silver, 7 gold total.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Cool.
Yeah, because it's a ration costs 5 silver, so, and that's how much your drag needs is a ration. Sweet. But anyway, back to your original point. Now that everyone's got a little in their pocket, and that includes you, there, Zalace.
Yep. Thank you.
No problem. Studded leather. You go to the market, easily found. People here are of the sort of, I'm not going to say the pirating sort, but the sailing type, which are very dexterous-based people. So there's plenty of leather-based armor going around. 45 gold for a set of leather armor.
Just plain leather or studded leather?
Sorry, studded. Yeah.
I will take it.
Yeah, that would be that'd be like a ×4 increase in price than the leather. No, you're good. Yeah, 45 for the studded.
Cool. And can I like sell my regular leather armor in return?
Yes, you can for half price.
Alright, so it'll be 5 gold for the leather, and then okay, so got it. 40 gold pieces total then.
Very good. Very good. Okay, incredible. Is there... Well, I'm going to write down paid on my calendar. Is there anything else? You have the Rock of Brawl in front of you. You may do whatever you wish. You might just go carouse. You could go gamble or drink or do whatever. Visit some of the shops, see what's around. Anything you could possibly wish.
I think I'll head to the library too. I want to research my dragon.
Fantastic. So why don't we do that then? So we'll take Bisan and Varsh. Maybe Bisan's fine. We'll say that you two just kind of find yourself sort of like finding each other on the same path as you guys come towards the high city. Woohoo, we got a lag today, folks. You make your way into the high city, in which you do see like an actual guard presence at that point, which is cool. You make your way through the walled sections of the city, and you see a much nicer portion of the city, greatly so, where you actually see green and trees. There is a wonderful, beautiful, very tasteful restaurants with a balcony that overlooks the only lake here on the Rock of Brawl. You see what looks to be some kind of great theater sign out that says, a very elegant sign that says the Royal Theater Company. But more importantly, your destination, you see a massive multi-story library known as the Library of Spheres before you. If that is where you wish to enter, you most certainly can. Now, give me about a minute to tell you all about it. Where are you? Okay. You enter within. Let's change up that music. I've got such a limited playlist. I like this one for libraries. I don't know why. It's my Strixhaven song. Okay, you enter within and you see a vast collection of tomes, scrolls, manuscripts, just multi-leveled, beautiful royal library. Everything down to the actual craftsmanship of the actual bookcases are immaculate, and it is maintained by a number of scholars and scribes that seem to really know their way around the place. I'm not gonna say for you, Bazan, you come from a very interesting culture, and perhaps have seen things of similar, maybe more alien, but similar, I don't want to say opulence, but grandness, and certainly of relevance of lore. For you, though, Mr. Voidlight, who I think has been more of a sailor and a seafarer, not one so scholarly, perhaps this is the first time you have set your eyes upon such a vast collection of lore and knowledge.
Look at Basan. This is a bit out of my depth here.
What are you looking for?
Well, mainly anything to do with Etherith.
Who is with you?
She nods. Can I make a perception check to find someone who looks like a helper? Librarian?
No check required. There is plenty around. You need merely open your eyes to find one. The place is definitely got plenty of it.
Is there anyone who looks more like they know about arcane? Is there anyone who looks like they might not be, again, kind of scared of a gift? I'm in a bookish area. Is there anyone with scars?
Probably not. Let's find out. Unfortunately, no. There's nobody with scars. Nobody who seems like worldly or battle worn. Yeah, that's all. That's the whole thing.
Then
I was gonna say.
She'll go to the first person.
Okay.
And say, hello. My friend
turns to you. Oh, go ahead.
My friend is looking for books about dragons. Like that, and gestures to Etherith.
Got it. Looks at you and is like, my goodness. Oh.
When
Like,
she does,
good,
Bisan like pulls her lips over her teeth.
You kind of,
Yeah.
you feel like probably really a risky maneuver for someone with serrated teeth. As you feel your like lips sort of grind across the sharp points, and then it's sort of, oh, good heavens, good heavens, a dragon! So everyone sort of looks over, and there's like everyone sort of startled and goes, "Well, Rock of Brawl is home to all kinds." Indeed. My goodness. Books on dragons. We have that. Yes. Please. Over here. And we'll escort you through. It seems to be, but I think it's fair to ask. The dragon is housebroken.
I look at Ethereth, and I kind of like give it a look.
Just sort of
It
tilts his head at you.
They will behave. I guarantee it.
Begins to lift one of its back legs slowly. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Says, well, right this way. And this individual will sort of take you in. For whatever reason, I'm gonna say it's like a GIF, like a big old hippopotamus librarian. Sort of a little thinner, but only a little. It's a hippopotamus. Than the normal one. Definitely has like a flintlock, sort of like back belted, and because it's a GIF. Yeah, takes you over to a pretty decent section that seems to be dedicated to draconic lore. It says, by all means, please take your time, look through the books at your leisure, and just please, no content is ever to be taken off the premises. Please note.
Of course. One other thing. Can I look
Yes.
over to... Is B-Star just like still around, or have they gone to find their own books?
No, I'll wait until they're settled. He's settled before.
I'll find you later. Okay, I'll let the librarian go.
Alright. He goes, oh, very well. And stomps off to go. We'll actually approach. I don't know. You'll just kind of like leave you guys be. It seems you're both looking for the same thing.
And before they leave, Busan will say, is there anyone who specializes in Gith lore?
Oh, well, of course. If you give us a moment to summon him. Humans, so boring. He goes, oh, Mugwurst! And you see sort of skipping down the spiraling staircase, you see this older halfling female woman who sort of makes her way down the steps and approaches and says, well, good morning to you. Is there something I could do to help you?
Yes. Is there like a table around?
Yeah, there's some tables.
Bisan will put down the armor, the blade, and the pamphlet. And will proceed to tell her everything that she knows. And then ask,
Wow.
What more can you tell me?
She says, I've never heard of any of this. This is rather unique. We have plenty of books on lore concerning the Githyanki and Githzerai cultures, but a unified sort of cult. I've never heard of such a thing. Miraculous. Perhaps there's tomes I have missed on our shelves. I would implore you to please take a look in our section. And she'll direct you to the gift section, or the gift section with a TH. Yeah, you can take a look for yourself.
That is where I will go.
Fair enough. Alright. You guys wish to spend some time researching. Now, this isn't going to be considered like downtime research, so
Yeah.
It's not going to be quite as effective as if you spent the whole week trying to seek anything, and DCs may be a little higher for certain more difficult to find lore. But if you guys want to spend the day in the library investigating stuff, Basson, you're seeking something that might be hard to find. So let's call it investigation.
Yeah.
And as for you, Varsh, who was trying to learn about draconic lore, that is a
I'm
little
sort
more
of
easier.
trying to find out one is like I'm trying to find out like what sort of dragon. I mean, I've kind of tweaked it as probably like a lunar dragon based on who my master is. But I like to know just essentially things I might need to do to care for it, and also what it will probably try to end up hoarding later in life.
Fair enough. For you, I will say an insight check. Or, sorry, a nature check. A nature check.
Gotcha. That's a 9.
A 9. Alright. And what did you get, Basson?
14.
So I am sorry to say, you're not going to find anything, Basson.
Right,
14 is a
okay.
little bit low for such a very unique niche culture on a lesser known plane of existence. It's a little low, I'm afraid to say. Varsh, you're going to learn some, but perhaps not as much as you could if you spent more time here. I'm just going to pull it up. Jesus. It's like I wheeled my computer out of a fucking retirement home. Jesus. Okay, let's see here. You find some sketches that do resemble the dragon you have. Maybe more than what you have, where it's actually scaled and has large sort of fins similar to the spine that your dragon currently possesses. You are aware that you are in possession of a dragon known as a lunar dragon, and you're seeking out its lair.
Not so much lair, but I mean, dragons hoard things, and as far as I'm aware, dragons don't always just hoard gold. So I'm thinking, well, this is a bit of a weird dragon, so it hoards something really weird.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're looking more specifically. Maybe that's why you don't learn much about the dragon itself, because you're really dead focused. So you learn it's a lunar dragon. You learn that people generally consider them not a pest because they're so powerful, but lunar dragons are something to be feared by the spelljamming community at large. Not considered to be largely benevolent. As for their hordes and layers, you learn why this was, because you don't. Again, you could learn more, but this tome's a little basic. You learn that they do like to hoard more than just treasure. They are very fond of spelljammer helms.
That could be useful. That could be very useful.
It could be useful. That's
That
pretty
could
much
also
what it
cause
says.
some
That's
problems
all
for
you
the
get.
crew.
Yeah, you're looking for like, what is the unique thing that they hoard? I was like, aside from treasure and jewels and regular wealth, spelljammer helms are their filet mignon.
Note to self: keep Etherth away from Spelljammer's room.
The dragon sits dutifully at your side as you read books for the larger part of the day. Almost like concerningly so. Like, it doesn't curl up to sleep. It doesn't wander curiously. It sits kind of like a dog and curls its tail around itself and its wings folded and just sits there for hours. Barely moves. Almost robotically.
Do I have time to do one other thing?
Sure.
And I want to do this stealthily because I do not want B-San to see this.
Okay.
I want to see if I can find a book on my mistress.
Okay. You sort of like have that like, oh, it's time for a water break, and you go looking into different sections of the library. Make me a religion check to see if you can find information about, uh, you know,
Crap.
someone.
5.
You do not. Maybe you're in the wrong place. Maybe the temple districts are more where you should be, but you do not find what you're looking for. You do find religious books and tomes and information about, entities, but not what you see.
That's supposed to be expected. That's my business done.
All right. Oh, God. Okay. What about Zalace and Chaplain? You guys have stuff you wish to do today?
So yeah, I want to go back to the market and find Pantera and speak to her.
All right. Make me a perception or investigation check to see if you can track her down. I'll give you advantage. She kind of told you where you could find her.
Both the same.
Jesus.
15.
15. Yeah, you find her with not a ton of issues. She's sort of browsing around. You don't know if her job is to like keep an eye on the market here, but you find her there. She's just kind of talking to different merchants and marks. Seems to be very friendly, almost too friendly with people. And you approach. She says, "Oh, well, hello there. You've been enjoying the rock?"
I may have made a bit of a mistake this morning, but hopefully we can rectify that. I bumped into one of the Yakuza this morning. I was trying to find some work from the docks for a ship, but may have messed that up, not thinking. I haven't been in the game for a little while, but I can't just try and make amends. Is there a chance you can give me an introduction to Miranda Sandyfoot? See if he's got any work that I can show my capabilities and my willingness to help out. And then we can go from there, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, I think you got the right instincts. The Yakuza are a little more skittish, I'd say, but frankly, just being a halfling, I think Sandyfoot would be willing to at least speak to you. But here, I'll tell you what. And she'll, take out maybe she'll like go to a stall, be like, I brought a piece of paper. Yeah, I promise I'm loaning it, and we'll take it and scribble something out and hand it to you, and say, there you are. If you need to be assured that you have sort of my relationship, just hand that off. But I think you'll have an easier time with the halfling community than the Yakuza.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a ship. I thought if they had anything they need moved from one place to another using the ship, we could have done it. But yeah, I know that I messed up, so I'll tread a bit more carefully. But thank you. I'll go and find Miranda. Do you know where he is at the moment?
Let me check. Says I'm usually headquartered in the barrows near the docks. You probably would have saw, all the halflings giving out treats and flowers and whatever.
Okay.
Just sort of meander your way down there. Use the cant. I'm sure you'll find your way.
Okay, so I'll start. Well, thank you. Appreciate your help in that. I'm gonna start making my way down, and on my way, I'm gonna buy a bag of apples. On my way down, make some bread.
Okay. Let's call it all 3 copper.
Okay. So I'll stow the apples and I'll start eating the bread as I'm walking down.
Alright. Yeah, you did the job. Okay, you make your way down. Once again, you come to that little neighborhood that's seemingly halfling, like dominantly halfling, where they're just selling their things off the side of the street, like apples, flowers, bread, candies, tours. And yeah, you walk down there like a little market street, some stalls, and what do you do?
So I'll start asking about just chatting with the halflings on my way and talking a little bit of thieves' cant to see whether they pick it up. Asking where I can find Mirrodin, sorry. And where I can find him as I'm looking for some work.
Fantastic. Make me. You know where to. You're where you need to be. So this is less of an investigation. This is more of like trying to get that introduction. So why don't you make me a persuasion check, and I'll give you advantage because you are a halfling after all, and using the thieves' can. You're checking all the boxes.
Wow. Well, after a natural one, I got a 6. So yeah.
6 total.
Rolling now. Yeah.
Man, you're supposed to roll good. That was what you were supposed
I
to
know.
do. Let me think here. You go looking around and you speak. Here's what I'm gonna chalk it up to. I'm just gonna say you have bad luck. You kind of go looking around. You're trying to use the thieves' cant because thieves' cant is you're just speaking like normal. Maybe you're speaking in halfling even. And you're basically saying like, oh hey, like do you know what the time is? How's your brother doing? Is his 2 kids still doing good in school? And that might all be translated into something very like you know, I'm looking for 2 people who are, I don't know. And for whatever reason, like, you know, there's people around here who must speak the thieves' cant. This is like where the gang is. But for whatever reason, you just can't find anyone who seems to understand that you're speaking thieves' cant. And you think you might just need to come back another day and try again.
Okay. Well then, with that miserable failure of a day, I will go back to the ship.
All right, understood. It'll be better in the morning, as I'm sure.
So.
Maybe one of the crew members tells you that. They're like, "It'll be better in the morning, mate. It'll be better in the morning." Cool. And what about you, Chaplain? Everybody else seems to have expended their day, but you, my friend, is there anything you would like to do?
Yeah, I would like to head to the market.
Okay.
And I'm looking for either a woman with makeup on or somewhere that I can buy cosmetics.
Got it. You probably want to head to the Grand Market, Great Market, where things are of a little higher quality. So you head over there, and yeah, I'll say that you find a stall that is where someone is indeed selling cosmetics. You see this Hadozi woman who's like all makeuped up.
Yeah.
And is selling cosmetics and says, "Hello! Oh, aren't you just the most darling little otter I've ever saw? Good heavens! By all means, you wish to buy some cosmetics, darling?"
Oh, well, thank you very much. I was wondering, I'm not very familiar with these. Can you show me how they work?
Of course, it'd be my absolute pleasure. She closes the stall for the afternoon. She sits you down on a chair. She goes, "Now this is blush. This is meant to bring out the contour in your cheeks. Oh, this is lipstick. Not to be mixed up with lip gloss. There's lip balm too, but that's not really a cosmetic, not really. I mean, unless you get a color sort of put into it, and then there's eyeshadow. Oh, don't get me started about eyeshadow. And so you get a full education in the basics of like makeup.
All right, can I buy some of the lipstick and the eyeshadow and the blush, please?
Of course, darling. Of course, of course. I'll give you. It's your first time. So... Yes,
Bright
yes.
colors.
What was that? Sorry.
Bright colors.
Of course, dear. Your complexion needs it, darling, and I don't mean that with any insult. But yes, of course, I will sell these to you. For it is your first time. What an honor to be your introduction to the wonderful world of cosmetics. I shall give you a fabulous deal. Normally, these things are wicked expensive, but for this first one, much like a drug dealer, I will give you a good deal on the first one. How about we just call it a gold for all of this, just for your first little cosmetic setup? How does that sound, darling?
That seems more than fair. Thank you very much for your generosity.
Oh, darling, there's nothing fair about the price of cosmetics. Good day!
Oh, that's a weird note. Okay.
She loves everything about it, even the cruelty of the of the cosmetics industry.
All right. Let's see.
This will ruin your complexion in about 20 years. Just to be clear, you're made of metal, so maybe 30.
All right. So I'm gonna take my cosmetics, and I'm gonna head back over to that Temple of Tyr because I have a plan.
Oh no. Oh, good lord. All right, you go over there. What time of day is it as you approach?
You tell me. It could be. I mean, I don't any. As long as I can get into the temple, I don't care how late it is.
It's open pretty much 24 hours around the clock. I got people watching at all times. You never know when somebody does, something sinful and needs to atone.
I mean, either more of a crowd or more darkness. Either one of those could be advantageous for me. So, however.
So why don't we say, with your good check, that they kind of like the guards a little, the clerics kind of swap out probably at dusk. So you head over there at that time.
All right. And I would like to roll my bag of tricks.
Okay, roll me up your bag of tricks, my friend.
Five, 2, and 3 means. Oh yes, an owl. Yes. An owl, a mastiff, and a giant goat. There's always a giant goat.
Always the giant goat. Maybe that's Chaplain's spirit animal, a giant goat. But yes, you summon these 3 companions, much like a Pokemon trainer. You bring forth your champions. What do you do?
Okay, I'll tell you what the entire plan is going to be, and you can tell me how you would like to break it down.
Sure.
I'm going to walk inside normally, just me. Leave the animals just outside. Walk inside normally. Channel divinity for an invoke duplicity, so that I create another one of me, maybe 6 or 8 feet away.
Okay.
Have that duplicity cast mirror image of me kind of around me as I approach the bust. So I want them kind of like, semicircling around me to kind of block me off from anybody who might be able to see me.
Right.
And my intention is to try to apply first command the animals to come in and kind of stampede the inside of the temple.
Okay. All right.
Then, in the midst of all the chaos, apply the makeup, disguise self, and run out with the duplicity and the mirror images still inside.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat it back to you so that we're on the same page here. Sort of Socratean method, I think it is, or Platonic method. Okay, so you got your animals. You want to just walk inside, nonchalant, like any old temple goer.
Right, like I did earlier, right.
Like you did earlier. You want to invoke duplicity in the room or outside the room?
In the room. Okay,
in the room. You want to cast a mirror image on yourself to make 5 of you. Right? And while I presume the priests are confused why you're doing this, then you stampede the room or just like the building at large with the animals?
The room itself. I want there to be as much chaos inside the room as possible.
Got it. Does this all happen in sync? Like, do you like mirror image, invoke duplicity, and the animals run in, or is there any like time?
I would be doing it as in sequence as I can. I want it to be like overwhelmingly quick and chaotic.
Got it. You run over and you apply the makeup, and then you'll run out and disguise self. Okay, I'm with you. I think I've got it. I understand what your plan is. Okay, give me a moment. I need to get something ready.
We are never going to be allowed back on the Rock of Brawl ever again.
Nope.
Rock of Brawl's a big place. There's lots of people. Whatever.
Shiny gold gnome figure.
I can't believe you're pranking the god of justice. There's no way he's gonna retaliate.
No way gonna bite you in the ass. No way at all.
The god of justice, that tier actually plays very heavily into like the reason that Chaplain was created in the first place.
This should go well.
This is an ongoing rival.
All right, here we go. We're good. Everything is in place.
He's vibe checking the god of justice.
He's humbling the god of justice if he can. Well, if you think about it, this is more a battle between Gnarled Glitter Gold and Tyr, the god of justice, not Chaplain versus Tyr. Right. This is more Gnarled Glitter Gold, because this is, you know. So anyway, Chaplain, you're talking to your animals and like, okay, when I mirror image, you run in and the owl's like, ooh, ooh. And they all are on the same page. So you walk in, super nonchalant, like, wicked low DC. I just want you to roll me a performance or deception check just to see how nonchalant you can behave.
Okay.
See if you're walking in with a little, like, you're a little too nonchalant. Like 5, the DC's 5.
Got a 2.
Oh my god. Chaplain, it's not an @1, so I'm not gonna say like, and they can't do anything for walking weirdly anyway. So but Chaplain, it's not a great start. Nobody's gonna ever tell it, and you're never gonna know it. But you're like, I'm just going to the Bustateer. No funny business here. And you're just kind of like wandering through, and everyone's like, definitely taking note of you. But you get inside, open the door. Oh, here I go for my daily prayer to the god of justice. As you sort of meander into the room, like swaying your arms. There are two rather, I'm not gonna say grim, but certainly a little more serious, take themselves a little seriously, priests. There's 2 of them. You enter into the room, there's 3 busts, 3 different gods, but you walk in on Tyr as you were here yesterday, and they go, welcome back. And you see them sort of like packing their bags or closing their books and getting ready to like swap out. You wander in, whistling, and you kind of like see the bust, you stare it in the eye, singular, and in that moment, the plan is a go. Bravo 6, charge, go. And you said it's fine. You send the signal, or you're like, wait 30 seconds, wait a minute, whatever. And as you sort of like wait for the sound of your animals to cue you, you sort of hear like, God, I wish you had an elephant because it would be the perfect time for an elephant sound. You hear like, the sort of giant goat screaming. You hear, woo, 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 and people going, oh, my good heavens, by the gods, as running in. What was your third one? You got a massive go. You got people barking. Hey, you stop that right now. What the hell's going on out there? The door slams open. This goat comes in. The dog and like goes over to one of the priests and like bites on his like his robe and starts. He's like, oh my god, what the hell? Spiritual weapon. And suddenly there's like 4 more chaplains in the room. They're like, what the fuck's going on? I want you to roll me let's call it either a stealth or a deception check. It's your choice to see how well you're distracted. Definitely take advantage. Your animals are helping. A little help from my friends.
Oh my god. 6.
On advantage?
Yes. I rolled a 6 and a 5.
Oh my god. There's all these child. They're like, wait, what are you doing? Wait, what's going on? So the one guy is definitely distracted by the animals. He's like, what the hell? And the other one's like, what are you doing over there? And you start going for it. He goes, hey, you stop that. And your other chaplains, luckily there's enough of you, where you're like, they're all like in the way of the guy. Well, 4 of them are perfectly mocking your your actions, and then the 5th one's like, and he's like, and he's gonna cast some spell. He's probably gonna aim at you because you're the one doing the work here. Let me just whip out a quick priest stat block. See what kind of magic he's gonna cast on you. I guess this spell on you. Let's see. Oh, okay. So over there where there's all the animals, the one guy's like, oh, and he casts a spell, and your goat's going, ah, and then it just disappears. The guy who's dealing with you, you're defacing the thing of his god, so he's like, you stop that! And he's gonna cast a guiding bolt at you. Blasphemy! 12 to hit.
Oh, miss.
Well, roll for your, that would hit, so what's your dex score?
0. Oh, my
0.
score?
So, yeah, well, this is to see if he hits one of your mirror images and not you, technically. Because mirror image is funky, you like roll first, and then we determine if we're hitting you or your image, and your image has a certain DC based on your dex. I rolled an 18. Roll 11 or... Okay, so he hits one of your duplicates. One of your 5 duplicate. One of your 4 one of your... Oh my god. One of your 3 duplicate... I'm not so hot on the numbers. One of your 3 duplicates vanishes. One of your 3 mirror images vanishes. That's a round. You keep going. Make me a sleight of hand check to see how quick you can make this cosmetic augmentation here.
Let's hope this goes better. Oh yeah, crit, nat 20.
Nat 20, you're like, oh shit, you realize you don't have a lot of time here, and you just like put like the lipstick in one, the eyeshadow another, and the blush, and you just sort of like, you got like go crazy, you got like the robot hand, and you pretty much get it done this round, and you turn around and look at the guy, and he goes, ugh! And he casts a dispel magic, your mirror images go down, your duplicity's still there, and he goes, you, by Tyr, no! And the other guy's like, and the dog's like, and he casts the spell magic on the dog disappears, the owl starts going, woo, woo, into his head, and he's like, oh, what the? That's their round. So you're in the room with them, you've got your duplicity, he's looking at you, because he knows you did it, like there's a duplicity, and he doesn't know what's going on there, but he knows that you defaced Tyr, and he goes, in the name of Tyr, you will answer for this, autognome! What do you do?
I'm going to run for the door and try and have the duplicity kind of block the doorway, even though he's not corporeal.
Got it.
So you're trying to disappear into the crowd outside and guys sell.
Got it. So as you run, he is going to... We're gonna say he's gonna try and... yeah, as you're on the way out, he does like try and like smack you with his hand, with his mace, and he does with a 20 to hit modified. He's gonna put a Divine Eminence on this to add a little no, he can't do this because it's a bonus action. Woo! Because that would have been a lot of damage. You're gonna take 4 damage as he bashes you up the back of the head as you run out in the opportunity attack. Your duplicity chases you and like stops. Maybe you like mix up with your duplicity, like let him jump into your space and out and kind of sort of shuffle a little bit. And he stands in the doorway, and you go for a big run. On their turn, the one guy's like, ugh! And he casts. Oh, they're out of the spell magics. So that guy's just fucked. The owl's all over him. He's like, stop! No! And he's gonna cast a sacred flame on which your owl resists, and a little burst of flame. Your owl sort of flies around. The other guy goes chasing after. He's like, out of my way! Ugh. He realizes he's out of spell power. And he sees you running. He goes, yo, stop that! Get back here! And he'll throw a little guiding bolt over top of your duplicity, but I'm gonna give him disadvantage because he's got something in melee range of him. How does a 15 do? Misses. You sort of do like a Mickey Mouse jump as it like hits the ground under your feet, and you keep running. And at that point, as you swing around the corner, you cast Dispel Magic, and you turn yourself into what?
Disguise self. I turn myself into like a grumpy, surly, here-serving dwarf.
Yeah, you turn yourself into a grumpy, sort of like priestly dwarf. So people run by and they go, what's going on up there?
Oh, there's some nonsense at the temple.
Make me a perception, or make me a performance or deception check, your choice.
17.
17, they go, thank you, brother. And they all run past. And they say, what in the name is this? A couple magic spells go out. They go, no, stay out of the temple. Don't come through. Blasphemy. No, do not. And they go, what happened? The tear. He goes, I told you not to come in. And you run down, and you make your way out, and you run into the streets, disappear into the crowds, and become Chaplain once more, successfully having defaced the grumpy god of justice in the name of Gnarl Glittergold. Do you have inspiration?
No, I used it already.
Then you have it now. Gnarl Glittergold is very, very happy with your trickery and mischievousness, and we'll grant you this. You know what? More so, honestly, I think this is like a big enough risk and a big enough reward that I think it requires a slightly larger reward. Normally, it takes about a week worth of, like service to your god. But I would say this is about worth a week's worth of, service. You are going to gain a divine boon, my friend. I will explain what that is presently. Old Gnarl Glittergold likes you. He's like, this guy, he's pretty cool. Let's see. I will describe it to you now. I'm sure you've heard the spiel before from the Tal'Dorei campaign for Finch, but I'm going to do it again just so you know what's up. Okay, you are going to gain a divine favor. And in broad terms, it is a promise of future assistance from a representative of your temple or your god in and of itself. It can be expended to ask the temple to help deal with a specific problem for general politics or social support, to reduce the cost of spell casting, spells cast for all of you, or you can ask your deity to intervene on your behalf, grant you an omen, a vision, a minor miracle at a key moment. That is what the divine favor is, and you can gain more of them. You don't have only one, but you can gain more of them. But that's what you have. So mark that down on your sheet somewhere. You have one divine favor with Gnarl Glittergold.
Got it.
And you may expend it either on the actual temple, the actual clergy itself, or ask the god for assistance.
All right, thank you.
Okay. This was great. Why don't we take our break? It is about that halfway mark. So let's all go take a very satisfying sigh as we think on Chaplain's many achievements. And we'll be back very soon. We'll be back very soon, like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
That was great.
That was great.
That was great.
Went off without fault, without issue, exactly as you planned it. All right. You devious. You devious, Chaplain.
That was fun.
That was great. That was great.
And it definitely went off without any consequences.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, since everybody saw him.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. A shining gold, immaculate autonome with a giant symbol of gnarled glitter gold in the center of his forehead.
In fact, didn't they see like 5 of him?
Yeah, it was pretty. I think it was a pretty vivid.
Yes.
They have your description.
And they know which god is responsible.
Like
I decree to thee: do not hate the player, hate the game.
It is the game.
Hate thy game.
I feel like you just dojo stormed his temple.
Definitely Dojo Stars. Dude, I want that art. I want the art of like the bust of Tyr there, and that him sort of like walking in like in that low shot, like with lipstick in his hand. It's like when they're gonna fight each other in that one JoJo, like that big that moment. Oh, what is it even called? Yeah, this one. Here, I'll send it. Yeah. Oh, you're approaching. Yeah, I want a Chaplain version of this. Walking towards the bust. That's funny. Okay. As we wrap up the day, and you'll all, and as the evening comes, it's like an evening sort of, different people are sort of individually going in to see the captain. You guys all have that sort of crew quarter meal, with like Yesenia, and you go to present your findings to the captain. Chaplain's a little late for some reason, and the captain's like, "What's taking him so long? He's usually very cordial." But interesting. At which point, maybe Chaplain flies in the door. I'd say out of breath, but he's a robot. Just sort of flies through the door. Yeah, oh, Chaplain, good. We were just waiting for you to present your findings.
Robotically snickering.
Interesting. How did you all fare on the docks? Admittedly, I think the rest of the crew wishes for a little extra time, but have you all found anything as of yet? It's been a short amount of time, but it's possible.
I did find there is a group on the Rock of Baal, Xeno Termination Ltd. They have a contract for a cosmic horror and are willing to split the bounty 50-50 between us and them.
A cosmic horror. Wow. Anybody else?
We can retrieve a staff of healing for 4,000 gold. And we'll
Seems
give
a little less
the
dangerous.
details.
On the surface, seems less dangerous. Interesting. Anyway, very good. Anything else?
Unfortunately, Captain, my contacts will need to be cultivated a little bit further.
Very well.
Time.
Okay. So retrieve a staff of healing And you can give the details. I believe they said it was like they gave you a location of like basically like a place on Toril. Which is very well. Why don't we give Zalace the day tomorrow to continue to cultivate this contact, as you're saying. Chaplain, did you have any findings?
Oh, I was with Isan when we heard about the job regarding the healing staff, but I have to make, and I was a little busy today. I didn't spend a lot of time attempting to find work. I can do better tomorrow.
That's quite all right. You found it together. That's perfectly fine. It's better than most of the crews succeeded, and these rewards are certainly better. Mr. Voidlight, do you remember how much they were offering for such a magnificent hunt?
The full bounty is 6,500 gold pieces. So between the two crews would be 3,250 for us.
And would they be accompanying us? Is that why we're splitting it 50-50? They do have to work, we do have to work?
Yes, that was the understanding.
Alright. So I shall tell you what. Yes, go ahead.
That said, in my personal opinion, a cosmic horror is... Well, it's a cosmic horror. It would be our most dangerous contract yet, were we to take it.
Yes,
Our offer is for more money and maybe less risk.
I agree. I tend to agree. Let's take the day. I would like you to return to this organization, see if you can't negotiate for us better terms for the deal. And in the meantime, I will go to the palace directly and see if I can't negotiate a higher bounty. If we can get better money out of this, maybe this is stubbornness, and we'll pose it to the crew, but it is what we used to do, defend the people of wild space from threats. And I think everyone on the crew might feel better doing some real... something good. So, let's see if we can negotiate a better price to justify the deal. Oh. Can you guys hear me? I had my mic off the whole time. Oh, okay.
We can hear.
I'll see if I can negotiate a better price, see if we can't do something a little bit more towards what veterans of the Elven Armada might favor. And if that doesn't work out, we certainly have the Staff of Healing to fall back on. We'll give Zalace a chance to cultivate opportunity, and we'll see whatever else can be found out about. I certainly have no issue if we wanted to spend a couple extra days on the Rock of Brawl, whether it be for more opportunity or just to get a lay of the land a little better, some downtime for the crew. I wouldn't have any issue with this, but I'm sure you all wish to be paid, and in order to be paid, there needs to be work. So, let's take tomorrow, see how we do.
Yes, Captain.
Okay, Captain.
Okay, Captain.
Good work. Okay. You guys will have the evening to do what you will. Talk. Hide. Whatever you please. And on the morrow, so you all get a long rest. If you need it. So you don't. Maybe Chaplain does. Is there anything anyone would like to do today? Why don't we... Zalace, would you like to continue your cultivation?
Yes, I would.
Very
Have a
well.
look at it.
Alright, you return back. Go ahead and make a check. Again, advantage persuasion. See if you can't make anything happen.
2 sevens.
2 sevens, and that's a total?
Yeah.
Oofda. Oh man. You shit. Let's think.
Yeah.
How can I do here? I'm just gonna say, unlike... Oh, wait. You're a halfling. Do you want to use your lucky feature? Don't you have like a cool... Oh, it's only if you roll a 1. Fine.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
only it only comes up if that's the case. Yeah, it will
Oh.
automatically re-roll that for a 1.
Yeah. Not
Okay,
lucky
so-
enough to roll high enough and not lucky enough to roll low enough to make this check work out. I will say, so I'm sorry to say that you do your best. We'll call it the morning. I'll give you a deal. I'll make you a deal. We'll say the first half of the day, it's not going well again. You're still struggling to find anybody who speaks Thieves' Camp for whatever reason, or they're just not responding to you. You don't know what the difference is. But I'll make you a deal. Do you want to try and change your tactic to finding your way into a... If you could describe to me like a different tactic of how you wish to go about finding this meeting, I will give you another check.
Okay, so the only other thing I can think of that'll play to my strengths is most probably stealing something from the halflings that are involved with the guild, just to get noticed and maybe brought in front of.
Okay, I like it. Sure, let's
That
give
would
it a
be the
shot.
only other thing I can think of being able to do, because otherwise you're not going to get in front of them, are you? So
That's fair. I like it. So you get a little frustrated. You've been trying your best with these halflings, and you're starting to get the idea that for whatever reason they might just not be responding, or maybe maybe these people on the street just truly don't understand Thieves' Cant. It's weird. Maybe you receive misinformation, but you resolve yourself to try a different tack. Okay, what would you like to try and steal to draw the notice of the halflings and sort of bring the attention to you rather than you seek it?
So I'll go to. I'm just trying to think. I think most probably go to the market and find the halflings that are there and start stealing some of the wares or the pamphlets and stuff like that they're handing out, and do it that way, but so it's noticeable.
Okay, you do some stealing, you keep it subtle, but you make enough of a show of it that people will see. So I want you to do, we'll call this like a skill challenge. We'll call this like a larger skill challenge. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have you roll me 3 checks, and these will all summarize to deal with success. So first off, yes, sleight of hand. Let's start with a sleight of hand to see how well you take.
Okay. Fine. 11.
11. Okay. 11, I'm gonna say does pass because these are commoner in large part. These halflings, so you will be able to sort of steal without them noticing. The success of your next rolls might determine DC related stuff too. I'd like you to also make me, let's call it a performance check. Make me a performance check to see like the presentation, like how subtle and nuanced your selling and giving away of these things are to draw attention to yourself, but not violently so.
14 on that.
14, okay, that'll be a success. And lastly, let's call it a... you're not trying to stay hidden, so no stealth. You do the sleight of hand, you sell it off in the performance. Let's make the last check. Let's call it a perception check to see if you keep an eye on the people who are keeping an eye on you. Like sort of watch the people watching. See if you can see the gears turning.
6.
So the perception check doesn't go quite well. You don't get to see behind the curtain necessarily the halflings. You're confident you stole well without being noticed, but you sort of sold it and gave it away in a very presentary manner that will draw attention to you. But you don't get to see any of the enemy sort of spies keeping an eye on you, so you just have to have faith that it worked out well. But luckily for you, that's 2 out of 3 successes, and so it will work. So as you're just kind of like hanging out, you know, sort of posting up a flag, trying to see if anybody notices, where would you hang out to wait for the attention to come to you?
I would just wait on. So looking at where we are here on the screen, I'd most probably just hang around the corner, just waiting for someone to come and approach me. So I'm in sight of the halflings that are in the street, but then I'm also out in the open, but not right next to them.
Got it. So you're just kind of near the outskirts of the market, maybe out of the way, but still in public eye.
Yeah.
Got it. So you're just hanging out there. You know that anybody who has done what you've done, this is the wrong thing to do if you're trying to get away with it, but you're not trying to get away with it, so it's just fine. It works out just fine. You don't see the eyes on you, but you can feel them sort of on the back of your head. You've done this long enough. And eventually, a group of about 10 halflings you find, like, before you really know it, you sort of looking around and suddenly you notice there's, like, 2 halflings there, 2 halflings there, 2 halflings there, 2 halflings there, until, like, a group of about 6 of them actually confronts you rather than sort of hangs out nearby. And this little old bitty woman, hundreds of years old probably, approaches you and says, we'll speak to you in Thieves' Camp. We'll say, "Excuse me, sir. I believe you've had something that doesn't belong to you."
And what would that be?
"Well, my people have noticed some of our goods have gone missing. Gift baskets, flowers, bread, nothing of consequence. But, you see, we don't take too kindly to stealing and thieving of our things. I don't think you know who you're messing with quite right."
Well, I'm hoping if it's the case of that, then I've done the right thing. I'm looking to speak with Muradin, and I was trying to get him in the right way, but then nobody seemed to want to help. I have this letter from Panthera, and I'll produce a letter and give it to her and let her read it.
He'll flip it open. One of the halflings will lean over and be like, "It's true. Some of the lads did see him wandering around and asking about people's brothers and such. It was cat, sure." She looks at it. She hands it back to you and says, "And to be clear, you've only stolen, like, we'll say, like, 3 silver worth of goods off these people's. It's like cookies and, like, nothing of great expense." Says, "But you've still stolen from the goods. You plan to make a return on that?"
So I'll give her 2 gold back.
All right, you give her 2 gold back, which is more than interest. She takes it. She looks at you and she says, "Come with us." Turns away. She wanders down the street. You follow?
Yeah, probably.
You are kept in proximity, or the halflings keep in proximity as you wander on down the street. They take you up to what was probably hidden in plain sight, one of these little side buildings here without issue. They tell you to wait on the porch, and she goes inside with 1 or 2 of the halflings. About 6 of them hang out with you, and they're not like menacing you or anything, but they're looking at you with like interest, like, maybe they don't understand the nuance of what you've done or what's going on. They're not really sure if you're their enemy or their friend at this point. They're probably just grunts. But very, very shortly after, you are indeed invited inside. You enter into a very simple dockside home where you find this, lithe, somewhat thin, very unassuming halfling individual who was talking with the older woman. Have a moment. I'm just going to see if I can get a little extra official info on this character. A little unassuming. He's got black hair, sort of tied back. He's got a big belly. He definitely likes his food. But otherwise, it looks like a fairly normal, maybe even a dock worker halfling. He's got a nice dagger at his hip, would be the only thing that discerns him differently from maybe some other people. You kind of come in, he's barefoot, obviously, and he says, "Welcome, welcome. You're the person who gave us a little bit of trouble in the market, did you?"
Well, hopefully not too much, but enough to be able to get in front of you. My name is Zalace. You must be Mirandan.
That's right, I'm Mirandin. Hey, listen, you made good on our return. Yeah, we had to use some resources to find out what was going on and track you down and surround you and all of that, but you put a fine penny in to make up for your disturbance, and I have to say, you work with some guile, my friend. Well done.
Well, it wasn't done in the stealthiest ways. I was trying to be noticed. I've been trying to get in front of you for a couple of days now, but without luck.
Well, you gotta understand, we Underbarons, we gotta protect ourselves and such. But you did quite well for yourself. You understand the game.
I've been involved for many years.
I see. So what
Previously,
So then what can I do for you? You looking for a friend?
Well, it's twofold really. One, maybe I can help you out in certain matters, as and when I'm on the rock, or even when off the rock. I'm currently working on the new dawn. Looking for some work for the ship. But don't know whether you've got anything that needs to be moved that you can't at the moment, or whether someone else around. So I'm just here to offer services, to be fair.
You got a good reference. You seem smarter than the average brick. You know your way around things. You ever done any smuggling?
I've had my fair share and done my fair bit.
Fair enough, fair enough. What about blackmail?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's part and parcel of getting what you need when you're in this kind of business.
Okay. You know what? You might just be in luck. We're in a bit of a pinch right now. You might be able to help us out if your ship is willing to do some jobs of our caliber.
I can't say for definite. I'll need to run it past my captain, but I'm sure we can be accommodating in some way. And if my captain's not, then if ever I'm on the way to that place, then I certainly will. Whether it's worth the price or not.
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you this. My primary function here is as a fence. People bring me stolen goods. I wash them around, sell them at faraway markets, make a bit of gold. So I've got a store of goods that needs selling. I need them sold somewhere far away. So here's what I'm going to do. We'll start with the smuggling. So I'm going to give you a couple crates of stolen goods. Now, these crates are worth a pretty penny. But they should make a fine return. And on that return is your payment. This is a test. So, I'm going to give you my stolen goods. I want you to make a return of a value of 7,000 gold pieces. I want you to make a profit of 7,000 gold pieces, and I want you to bring it back to me. Now, I'm going to sell these to your captain for 3. Now, sell them to your captain for 3,000 gold. He makes a return of 7. He brings me back... why don't we say Hang on, I'm working out the numbers here to make it affordable, like on the fly. So give me half a
Yeah.
second. So we're gonna stick with that. The goods are worth 3,000, but I want you. Yeah, okay. I want you to go to. He's gonna give you a planet. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. Ooh, this is a little fucked up, but I like it. He says, there is actually a merchant on Glyph that sells to neutral mind flayers there. I want you to go there, and I want you to blackmail that man, tell him that we have vital information about his little affair with his, his mistress, and that if he doesn't sell our goods for us, we're going to turn over that information to his beloved. And then everything's going to go up not too well about it. It's a simple thing. He's going to sell them to the mind flayers. There's no risk there. It's neutral grounds. No danger risk either, as long as you get past them and on to planet side. So you go there, pick 3,000 gold pieces. I want you to sell them for, let's say, make it 10. Sell them for 10,000 gold pieces, giving us a profit of 7. And we'll only take a measly 1,000 gold pieces off of it, and your crew can keep the 6. So you'll make a 6,000 gold piece profit. You'll be letting me know that I can trust you. And depending on how well you negotiate is your profit, we're just going to take 1,000 gold pieces off the top. How's that sound?
Sounds very fair. I appreciate it. Let me go and have a chat with my captain, and I'll be back to you before the end of the day.
Fantastic.
Can I just ask what the goods are?
Let's say no.
Okay.
This is a test run. So, sorry, final modification, just to make things real simple. I'm going to say he's going to sell them to your captain for 3,000 gold pieces. When you return to the Rock of Raw, he's going to want an extra 1,000 gold pieces. Other than that, he says, it's up to you to see if you can negotiate a good price for your crew. He leaves the rest in your hands. And because that he's making it so, like, you know, if you'll be able to make a profit on it, he will tell you the goods, and the goods are going to be weapons. It's a supply of firearms.
Okay. Okay, so the last thing I need to know then is the name of your seller, please.
Absolutely. His name is Dragon Bluff.
Dragon Breath.
That's right. Well,
Okay.
that's his moniker.
Okay. I appreciate you finally seeing me. I'll get back to you by the end of the day. So just come straight to you or get a message to you.
Sounds good. Sounds very good. Okay. With that, you are allowed to leave. It seems that you have definitely intrigued the Underbaron Sandyfoot. Incredible. That does take up your day, for the most part. Is there anything else anyone would like to do on the Rock of Brawl today? Yes, Basan.
So, above the table question. I've already been to the library. Can I go back to try again, or is that we've tried and we're done?
Oh, we'll do it. Let's do it. Sure. No problem. Head back to the library. Get in there. You're going to look up the same thing?
Same thing.
Okay, make me an investigation check to see if you can find this lore that you seek about the gift of the
Exact same roll.
outwards.
Exact same roll. So yeah.
The DC would lower slightly with each day, but that's still a little low. On the
Yeah, it's 14. So actually, no, but this one might have been better. This was a 14.
A 14. Still a little low. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I figured it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't lower much day to day, right? It doesn't lower much. Yeah, you look around. You find an exceptional large amount of lore based on just strictly Githyanki, Githzerai knowledge. I'll even say in passing, because you spend so much time here, I'll say that you do like confirm the Gith-Yankee raiding tactics that you were told by Captain Lunarbow about their sort of hit and take and let them redevelop tactics. Yeah, cool. Is there anything else from anybody for today?
You said that the captain was going to the palace and negotiate the cosmic horror contract.
That's right.
In that case, I'll head to the library as well, see if I can't have another attempt to try to find anything about my mistress.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll me a religion check.
None of us are having a good day today. 6.
6. You're having a difficulty finding such lore in this library. You imagine it's probably some dusty tome in the basement under a pile of books somewhere that you just can't seem to find, unfortunately. Mr. Fool's Gold, the infamous Mr. Fool's Gold. What would you like to do?
I'd like to go to kind of a mid-level inn or tavern that we've not been to before.
Okay, that we've not been to before. Let's see if there's anything that might be somewhere in the middle city, I assume. Yeah, you go to the Edge. You go to the Edge, which is probably one of the largest and busiest taverns on the Rock. And the establishment seems to be very popular amongst space travelers such as yourself visiting the Rock. Sailors, people who have gained passage, captains, first mate, crew, quartermen, all alike, all seem to be stationed here.
All right. So first, I'm going to walk up and introduce myself to the bartender.
All right.
Hello, my name is Chaplain Foolsgold, and I'm known for fixing things, material things, situations, etc. We're just in off of the vessel, the New Dawn, and I was looking to see if there was anything of particular concern anybody needed to help with.
You see this person turns around, and you see this ant-like thrycreen. There's a couple on your ship, but you see the multi-armed, sort of green ant head creature. Its antenna sort of tingles, and you hear its mind sort of invade yours.
Ooh.
And he goes within and says, "You are a fixer of things, yes."
Yes, that's correct. Do you have a problem that I can help you with?
Sure. Answer me this, fixer. Why do you fix things? Why do you repair broken things?
Well, I suppose I repair broken things because it brings people joy most of the time. Certainly, in most cases, something started out unbroken and had a purpose, and that purpose tends to get disrupted once it's broken.
I wonder, do you mean to repair these things back the way they were, or for a new purpose?
Oh, well, I have a particular interest in fixing things for a new purpose or to improve their purpose.
You do not feel conflicted about returning things to their original value?
Generally, I suppose it all depends on the circumstance. Every once in a while, when I'm supposed to be fixing something back to its original state, I get a little bit of an urge to modify it a bit.
And last question. Do you think something that has been broken and then repaired has less value than it did before?
Oh, I don't. Again, I would assume that depends on the circumstances and who did the fixing. I mean, sometimes if something's not fixed quite as well, it can be worth less. But some things can certainly be improved.
You think there is opportunity for innovation in repair?
Oh, there's always opportunity for innovation. If there wasn't, I wouldn't be here.
Very well. Prove it, and I shall pay you based on your quality, sir.
Okay, what can I help you improve?
He looks around. He says, I'll let you decide. I will watch. You decide.
Oh, okay, this will be fun. Let's find something. Do you have any? Is there anything that has like crude mechanical properties? Any sort of moving parts or anything like that?
Nothing. Well, make me an investigation or perception check to start.
Got a 10.
10. You look around, you don't see anything that has any sort of complex mechanism to it. But you see plenty of, mundane bar items. Bar stools, bar tables, the bar itself. You see racks where glasses are sort of hung above the bar. You see sort of cabinet doors. Probably the most complex thing in here are the hinges on the cabinet doors where like alcohol is stored or whatnot. Maybe in the kitchen there might be a couple of things, but everything here is like it's all well made but fairly basic.
All right, let me think.
There are things that need repair. There are things nothing that needs like exceptional repair. There might be a back room or something, but there are things that are like starting to wear, there's a couple tables that sort of rock on the, they're not even legged.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me see. Do we have any sort of, and I'll ask the bartender this. Is there any sort of saw or cutting device available for cutting wood?
Do you have a carpenter's tool?
I don't know. I thought I might.
He says, wait just a moment. And he goes into the back room, ant monsters along, comes back, and he will hand you a carpenter's tools kit. He'll says, do a good job today, and perhaps I'll let you keep it.
Oh, thank you. All right. Okay, so let's see if we could find a stray plank. So I'm looking for like a flat kind of, just a regular flat kind of plank, maybe not more than maybe 1 inch thick by 4 inches wide and a couple of feet long.
Make an investigation check.
Let me use my inspiration. A 10.
A 10. Yeah, I'll say you don't find anything inside the bar itself, but you do go in like the back alley and you find like an empty crate and you just kind of like tear a couple of planks off of it.
Okay, great. Perfect. So he'll bring it back inside because he wants to show his work. And as he takes the saw and he begins cutting, he starts explaining, okay, so when you're in an establishment such as this, where people are merrymaking, having beverages, etc., people tend to generally kind of congregate together and want to celebrate together. And I've noticed a bit of a ritual where everyone gets a full drink, says something very inspirational, and then throws them all back together. I think we can create a little bit of a challenge to this and something to keep everybody a little bit more in unison. And so he cuts out from the plank, let's say 4-ish holes that are both wide enough and narrow enough in diameter that you can fit glasses inside them.
Okay.
And essentially creates kind of we call it the ski. I don't know if you've ever seen it before.
I know the ski. You got a ski.
So that's what he makes.
He makes the ski. All right. Make me let's call it a carpenter's tools check. Make me, let's call it. There's any number of ability. I'll tell you what. Are you proficient with carpenter's tools?
No.
No. Okay. So this is just going to be a flat ability check. I'll let you. I usually like to propose, but I feel like there's many ways anyone could go about it. What ability score is Chaplain using? What would you say? Like, how is he going about it in like a sizing things out, intellectual kind of ways? Is he just using brute strength, propose to me which ability score you'd like to use.
I would like to think that a wisdom score could be applied for kind of the sussing out of how to make this work.
Okay, yeah, the insight, the sort of awareness of measurement. I agree, absolutely. Make me a wisdom check, a carpenter's tools check.
Hmm. 12.
12. You make a ski. You make like a ski shot board. Like obviously, like there are better ones out there. But it is functional. It's about the quality of other things in the shop. It's nothing that you're like, it's not your magnum opus or anything. It's no, but it's cool and it's unique and it serves the purpose you require of it.
All right, and it can be easily washed, hung above the bar when not used, etc. So nothing groundbreaking, but just a little something off the top of my head.
And so you put the alcohol shots in the ski and bring it over to the table, and then what?
Oh yeah, by all means. Let's. Do we have 4 willing participants? And he kind of turns around and gestures to the group. Anyone? Let me buy 4 drinks.
You see some guys at the end of the table. We'll say they're like, I don't know. There's some like, I want to use the Spelljammer races more. We'll say they're like some Hodozi at the end of the table, and one GIF they're hanging out with. And the GIF goes like, "Does somebody say for your shots? We'll take them." And the fry cream with its 4 arms starts and like sets them all up in the ski because there's like the little slots.
Yeah.
It says, "I just take it over."
Yeah, I'll take it over for you. You can stand by and watch.
All right.
So he walks over and he says to the GIF, "Okay, now you're gonna have to position yourself so you're at about the same height. We're all gonna be drinking at the same height here."
Oh. They sort of like gets down. The Hodozi like stand up on their seats until they're all like their heads are generally in line.
Right. All right, shoulder to shoulder. You got to get close enough to get the glass to your mouth.
Most of the bar is watching at this point. They think this is pretty. They don't know what's going on, but they're interested. So they do this. You get the shots all in order.
All right, now what shall we say a cheers to?
Hodozi says, "Here's to the cinnamon plank, our ship that just took a great haul."
To the cinnamon plank. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. We're gonna throw them back. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And they kind of it.
Yeah, and they all like sort of, and everyone kind of like does one of those as they do it. Nobody's ever seen a fucking ski shot before. And they do it all at the same time. They all put them back at the same time. There's a little spill, but that's fine. It's funny. And they put it down. They all go, "This is the greatest thing ever! We all just did it at the same time!" And everyone in the bar is like, "Woo!" They all like applaud. You get some pats on the back, Chaplain. Everyone. You get that little like role-play video game thing at the top of the screen that says "Everybody loved that."
Yeah.
And everyone in the bar loves that. Pats you on the back.
Congratulations to the Edge, home of the ski shot.
And they're like, "The ski shot? What's ski? I don't know. Yeah, man, it's here, man, the Edge." And people love this. They think it's awesome. The Thry Queen is very impressed. And he says, "What is your name, little builder?"
Oh, my name's Chaplain. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
"Yes, my name is Vika."
Vika. That's fun to say.
"Yes, you have done great work. The next time you bring your crew into the Edge, the first round is for free."
All right, well, that turned out to be productive after all. Thank you very much.
Keep the carpenter's tools, and remember, and try and think why we repair things. You have done such a good job. You made, a crate into a great amusement? Excellent. Very well done. Its value seems to have increased.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I will give that some thought.
All right. Who wants a ski shot next? And then people start pulling out coins, and they're like, "Oh, next we want a ski show next." And it seems that the Edge, the home of the ski shot, thanks to Chaplain, Fool's Gold, is just making the Rock Brawl a more fun place these past couple of days. And I will certainly give you inspiration, Chaplain, for such a cool little adventure. Absolutely. And I think with that, I think our day will largely be coming closer to an end. I'm going, unless there's anything else anyone can think of what they would want to do.
Nope, I'm good.
All right. I'm going to do a little check here because the captain did roll pretty good. Okay, I just need to go look at my bestiary really quick. There we go. The big old guy. He's got a pretty... Okay. The captain returns. You all sort of settle into another evening of like checking out on everything. He'll say, so I have some good news. I managed to convince the palace to up the bounty on the calls of core, able to convince them that this is not a bounty of significant rarity, but an individual threat that requires singular attention. Not one to be hunted sporadically and turned in, but one that requires its own singular purpose. They will now be offering the bounty for 16,000 gold. So split halves. It's 8,000 would be our bounty, and the other company would get 8,000. Of course, well, there's no real way to skirt that. What about you, Zalace? Were you productive today?
I've managed to make some contacts. It just depends on your feelings on the man, to be honest, Captain.
Fair enough. Please, let me know.
So, a contact has some goods that need to be taken to Bliss, where there's a seller there that will sell the stock for him. The only thing is, we need to pay 3,000 up front with another 1,000 on return, and whatever we make above that will be our profit.
And what exactly would we be bringing his way?
It's undetermined at the moment. He's not willing to tell me. As you can imagine, Captain, my contacts are, and how it will be, mainly underground.
I see.
So,
I see. Was there any demand as to when this job should be accepted?
well, I'd need to let him know by either close of play tonight or first thing in the morning before we decide on what you would like to do. So,
Understood. I see. Well, very good. Well done, Zalace. Getting in touch with one of the Underbarons is about as good as getting in touch with the royalty on the rock. So, well done. Very well done. Well, I see this two ways. As far as we don't want to let the firearm opportunity go, so at the very least we can put it in our hull. I expect the Underbaron will not care when he gets his profit. He's getting it anyway. We're purchasing them from him. So that could be an investment to be sold another day.
there was no time scale, Captain, so I can't see that being an issue.
It's an investment, but I think it could be potentially a worthy one for the contact alone, if not the profits. Profit margin would have to be at least, to make it fair. Well, we're gonna make 4,000 just to break even. And then anything thereafter is split evenly amongst the crew, so we want at least a couple thousand of that.
There is a way of that he did give me some advice on how to maybe improve our profit margin, Captain. So his contact is, well, let's say, been playing away for a little while. So that
It's an
there is a
investment.
way in.
Absolutely. An investment, to be sure. One way or another, it's an investment. So I'm not opposed to this. I would wish to take it up with the crew. I like the cosmic horror. I don't. It's going to be dangerous, but I also very much like... They're all rather good. I'll ask you this. You all were the ones who brought me these various opportunities, so what are your opinions before I bring it to the crew?
Yes, I'll go. I am concerned that the cosmic horror might be a threat too great for our current fighting force. Even if the reward is not just in terms of monetary gains, but surely a reputation for the New Dawn would be astronomical. As for finding this staff of healing, it seems to be arguably the safest option, and the reward for it is entirely respectable. As for this delivery, I don't like it. It seems the Underbaron, they specifically refused to tell us what we were transporting, yes? Did I understand that correctly?
So I do want to
That's
hop
correct.
in. I was gonna let her sit, but I was a little confusing because I kept swapping it around because I was trying to figure it out in real time. I think he finally did resolve to tell you what it was because you have to invest in it, right? So he's got to sell it to you, and so it's not like buy this from me but don't know what it is. So that you know that you can make a return on it, he will have told you what it was, and he's going to tell you it's firearms and gunpowder.
Okay.
Well, I
So
have no... Yeah. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, I'll explain. No, I was just going to say, obviously backtrack on that one. On speaking to the captain, I would have told him what we were selling.
While I personally have no problem with transporting weapons, for one, we're essentially paying them an advance to sell their goods for them. I find this distasteful.
But then, my view on it is we could do the staff. We could do the delivery, which then I would imagine would put us in good stead to improve our armament to go and take on this monster of yours.
At the very least, I'd like to inspect the weapons myself and see if they are worth the price we're paying, and that if profit is even possible, or if we're being scammed.
I don't think we're being scammed.
They're very fine points, Varsh. It's very fine points. Obviously, we like to assume that we're not being scammed, but it's always best to assume the worst and hope the best. But you, Zalace, believe that working for the Underbaron is the best opportunity we have.
I believe it's easy money for us. I believe we can get more than the 4,000 that we'll end up spending.
It's fair. It's perfectly fair. Miss Oren, Chaplain, what of you two?
What is an Underbaron and why are they important?
So as you might have noticed, the Rock of Brawl is a little loose with how the law works. There's not a standard guard. People are expected to mind their own purse, watch their own stalls and such. So this is a fairly lawless place. With that said, where there is lawlessness, there is a void for criminal activity. The city is run by, indeed, the government, but also in large, the Underbarons. There are 4 of them, and each one sort of keeps the other in check. The others in check. It's a ongoing, ever-going power struggle, and though the prince in his court does ultimately and legally rule over the Rock of Brawl, the Underbarons take a large slice in various criminal activity. That is tolerated by the government in large. So, crime princes, the best way to think of it.
Yeah, I don't know that I disagree with Zalace. I think that the job to retrieve the staff seems certainly doable and lucrative, and I don't have any problem with dropping off a delivery on our way.
Why not? Hassan, have you formed an opinion?
I think Varsh is correct that we have to examine the merchandise because that is smart. But if everything is as it seems, then it seems the Underbarons are part of the social structure, so we should make nice with them if they have work for us.
Very well. Very good. I have a thought to add as well. I certainly have enough coins stored up that we could make the investment of 3,000 to take these firearms onto our ship. However, there is another way that we could spend this investment. We could, of course, I'm just laying options on the table. I want to see your opinion as well. We could invest this gold instead in the purchase of a personal vehicle, a personal ship to add to our fighting power in space. This would give us the opportunity to put another pilot on another ship and could operate a little bit more outwardly in space, in wild space. So we could either spend the 3,000 to indeed take on the firearms and perhaps sell them and make a profit, or we could invest that gold right now into a second, more smaller personal spelljamming vehicle to add to our arsenal when we think that's horror. Any opinions?
I mean, I'm sure that the ship could use another vehicle, and that certainly sounds like it would be a beneficial addition for us, but it doesn't offer any immediate option for profit. If the delivery of the firearms went as planned, and I'm not sure that it will, I understand Varsh's concern, but if it went as planned, we would end up eventually with more than that gold back anyway, which we could then use to purchase the personal vehicle.
Fair and wise options. Not one I disagree with necessarily.
That makes sense.
Very well. Glad to have all your opinions. I will ask above table. Is anyone here specifically, like, more than just giving their opinion, but specifically trying to convince the captain of their plan, of their opinion?
I'm not. Chaplain doesn't have a strong opinion on this.
Okay.
I think the only thing Varsh would probably want to push quite hard on is maybe delaying any attempt on the cosmic horror until we're stronger.
Okay, make me a persuasion check.
Sure. Not 20.
Woo! He looks at Varsh, and Varsh, it is worth saying that you were brought on the ship because of your great experience with the Astral Sea, more than anyone else on the ship. So your opinion about how to confront an astral danger carries more weight than probably anyone else on the ship, the captain. And as you bring up your concerns about the danger the cosmic horror presents, the captain's probably heard plenty of tales about this during the war. He's a very experienced captain, but as he hears your opinion sort of reaffirming the danger of the cosmic horror, he takes note, and you get the sense that he takes it very seriously, the danger and the threat the cosmic horror poses. And sort of, you can see like a little nod comes your way when you bring it up that it's sunk in. Says, very well, very well. Tomorrow morning, I will present the job offers we have found to the crew, but I am very partial to what Chaplain you have to say. We invest in the purchase of the firearms, travel to the outskirts of the wild space system, we sell them at Glyph, hopefully for significant profit, keeping 1,000 on the side, and whatever we break even with, we might invest into armaments to improve the ship in the facing of the cosmic horror, and we'll reassess if we want to take on that contract then. But there is the concern of the company that we are splitting this 50-50 with. We could always decide to run out and try and take it on by ourselves, or we could continue to enlist the strength of these, alien hunters. But if we accept the help of the alien hunters, we must lock in that we are going to confront the cosmic horror, which puts us in the danger of maybe facing it not well armed if the contract with the gunpowder doesn't go well.
When I was speaking with the Xeno Termination, I got the impression that they were delaying their own participation in such a contract for lack of manpower, so without us they can't do anything, it would seem. Or until they find another crew to split it with.
So I will then ask all of you, once more, do you think we should accept the contract 50-50 with Xeno Termination to gain their firepower and expertise and support in the taking of the cosmic horror? Or should we try and collect the full bounty for ourselves and possibly make investments into personal armaments to compensate?
I think without improvements to the ship, taking on the cosmic horror under our own steam will only result in our immediate demise. With the help of the Xeno Termination, our odds are better, but I am not familiar with them. I do not know the extent of their power or how experienced they are with dealing with cosmic horrors. It's
true, and without Xeno Termination, our obligations to undertake this contract are more flexible. Whereas if we join with them, we're committed whether we decide we have the armaments or not in the end with the firearm contract.
I'm inclined to agree with Chaplain's course of action, even if ideally if the selling of these firearms goes well, we can invest in our ship and be better prepared to take on the cosmic horror contract. I don't particularly think it's going anywhere.
And Xeno Termination? Should we take the job with them or without them?
Even with them, with your new negotiations with the palace, it's still 8,000 gold for the crew, which is no small sum. And I would rather see us walk away with all of us alive than walk away with us having defeated the horror, but with great casualties.
I'm inclined to agree. Very well. Tomorrow I will pose 2 options to the crew. One is the smuggling of firearms and its investment into our armaments if we succeed on a good price, so that we may take on cosmic horror with our associates at Xeno Termination, which, by the way, it's best to keep our smuggling activities under the radar with our Xeno Termination friends. We don't know what their stance is on such things. Or take the Staff of Healing contract. One is far more risky with much larger rewards, both monetarily and status-wise. The other safer. Less profit, but safer. You've all done fine work, and your advice has been invaluable. We're all becoming fine seafarers, each of you.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes, Chaplain.
I got us a free round of drinks at a tavern called The Edge in town for the whole crew.
Excellent. Excellent. Perhaps we'll have one final drink tomorrow night before we head out on our whatever job we decide to do. Would work, Chaplain, or... Good job. You've all done excellent work. I have no doubt you will all find yourselves wealthy captains of your own crews in due time. Perhaps sooner than you imagined. Well, I'm going to get Transon. We'll take care of business tomorrow. But well done. Have the night. Have the night. You've all done great work. Yeah, and with that little meeting will be adjourned. You get the sense that nobody else on the crew came up with anything half as decent or as interesting as what you were all able to produce and come up with. I think the captain will hold Zalace and actually, well, no, he'll get all of you for this. He says, oh, one last thing. I do agree with Mr. Voidlight that these firearms require inspection before we take them on. We don't know this Underbaron well, and though we do not wish to seem distrustful, we're also not going to put ourselves at risk for show up on Glyph and realize we've been given faulty merchandise. So, I will bring the Commandant along with us, and we'll have a proper inspection of the goods to see if they're worth our time. Whoever
Okay,
wishes to
Captain.
join, we can.
I'll set up the meeting for tomorrow.
Excellent, thank you,
Or
Zalace.
if you would like to do it tonight.
Perhaps tonight, why not? If possible.
May
I'll get straight on it then, Captain.
Very well. Whoever wishes to come, yes? Very well,
I would
son.
like to watch the Commandant look at the weapons.
Very good, very good.
I'd like to look at them myself.
Very good, Mr. Voidlight. Somehow I think the gods are smiling on me that you don't wish to come, Mr. Foolsgold, to this most sensitive of meetings. No offense, but you're a little more exciting than perhaps we might require.
I'm happy to sit this one out. I would like to have a look at them once they're back on board, though.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Great. And he'll he does it all with like a little smile and a wink. He means no offense, but your reputation precedes you. Okay, so Zalace, you may go over there, and just to sort of make that quick because we will have that meeting. You sort of wander in, or you know what, we'll have that little conversation. You find your way in. You're welcomed within after some checks and authentications after a minute or two, and you meet up with Meriden Sandyfoot. Again, he says, "Zalace, you have a last name? We sailors like to refer to each other by formalities."
I do. Silent Crest.
What was that?
Silent Crest.
Silent Crest. Fine name. Well, Mr. Silent Crest, what can we do for you? We have an offer upon your answer.
So, my captain is interested, but there's a few small caveats. Well, one.
See?
You would like to inspect the weapons, just so that everybody is aware and is sure of what we're actually selling and taking on board. As you
Sure.
can understand, his ship, his rules, is part of the deal, I'm afraid. Whether you're a means to that is a different matter. But the captain would like to see what the goods are, just so that we are sure of what we're selling, so we can get the best price for everybody all around.
Make me a persuasion check.
Come on. 15.
Yeah, let's go, big dog. Oh, right, 15. He goes, what a reasonable request. Never know who you can trust here out on the rock.
Well, I'm hoping that this could be the start of a friendship that we can have trust between.
I honor amongst thieves and all. I am a great agreement to this. So, very well. Meet me, and he'll give you like a building and a street number, or he'll give you like a street and a building to meet him at. You set up the arrangements, and he says, "Meet me in an hour at this street at this time at this location." Details. And shakes your hand, and yeah, and with that you could, you go over all of the logistics. You go back to the crew, you tell them the time, you
Yep.
wait around for half an hour, you go make your way down the street, and here we are. Look, we did it. It was only a half an hour. But after a little while, you guys find yourselves to a back street, still in the burrows, and you see a couple of halflings, looking a little more thiefy, a little more authentically of who they are, and you do see Meriden Sandyfoot himself there. He says, "Would you use a captain?" And Captain Lunarbow steps forward and he says, "It's an honor to make your acquaintance, Underbaron. I am Captain Lunarbow of the New Dome." Puts a hand forward and says, "Captain Lunarbow? Zalace, you didn't mention you were working under a war hero."
Well, I didn't want to presume that any name that I dropped would have incurred more favors. I wanted to do this job properly.
"I see. You have a stand-up man there, Captain." And he shakes his hand and says, "By all means, come take a look at our stock." All of you file in, which is about 5 of you. The goons sort of watch and are careful. As you walk down into the actual store, it is a very large storage space, fairly hidden entrance and all. But the actual interior is filled with individuals. Not filled, but there's about 24 halflings down there, armed with sort of swords and crossbows, who you get the sense are guarding this most precious stock. And the captain says, "Commandant, feel free to make your inspections." Just, "Right, Captain." He begins to sort of open the barrels, takes out the grains of gunpowder, sniffs them, puts them in, looks at it all, seals it back up, and goes from crate to crate. He's very, very thorough. I'm going to make an investigation check for the captain.
Can I help
Basson, yeah, I was going to say, if anyone, I know Basson, you kind of wanted to lean over his shoulder a little bit. If you two wanted to help, you'll get advantage on this check. He is proficient with with firearms, so he'll get a little bonus. Makes his way over. He pulls out the guns. It's muskets and pistols is what is in here. Muskets, pistols, and gunpowder. Pulls them out. Sort of like checks them through. It's very he's very thorough. It's like he's done this 100 times. Very clear in the inspection, looking through things you wouldn't have even thought to have done to inspect a firearm. He just does through naturally. It's interesting to see someone very skilled in anything do their craft. It's always a pleasure to watch, and you see him do this. He checks in. He makes sure there's no bearing. He checks the flintlocks. He sort of takes a couple off the top and hands them to you guys and goes to like the bottom of the actual crate and does an inspection of the firearm, checks the line of sight, flips around, checks the weight, puts it back in. After about 5-10 minutes of inspection, the commandant turns around and nods to the captain. Captain says, "Well, everything seems to be in order by our inspections. Thank you very much, Mr. Underbaron. If you'd be so kind, the decision to undertake this operation isn't exactly up to me, it's my crew at large. I like to run things as diplomatically as possible. So we would like to check with our crew and see if this is an available venture, and then I would like to get back to you. Does that suit your needs?" Underbaron says, "You understand the difficulty, Captain. I've put a lot of risk on the line for you and your man. You've seen my personal stores, you've seen my stock, you've seen a great deal more of my operation than I'd like you all to walk out on. I'm afraid at this point I require your obligation, or there might be, I don't want to say bad blood or anything so extreme, but there may be difficulties for you to continue to operate on the Rock of Brawl if you are to so thoroughly investigate my operations, grant me all this risk, and let you walk away scot-free, if you understand." Captain says, "Of course, Master Underbaron, I understand completely. We have taken great stock of your wares, and it's only fair that we undertake some risk on our part. I accept your offer." And shakes his hand and says, "Very good. When can we expect the loading of your goods?" Captain says, "Tomorrow morning." Captain, says, "I have allowed my men to take the rest of the night. Work will progress early in the morning." And Sandyfoot says, "I can agree to that. Your men may come and begin to load the cargo in the morning under the advisement and close eye of your Mr. Silent Crest. He seems to be well understanding of my guild's profession. I'd like him to have his eyes on the product, as well as perhaps your gift friend. I don't wish for there to be any mishandlings." Says, "I couldn't agree more, Mr. Sandyfoot. Thank you very much for your opportunity. I assure you, you will have your profits." It's very good. "I will have my man come by your ship tonight and receive those profits beforehand." And he sort of like nods to one of his men who sort of comes up next to the captain and just sort of like, is fairly neutral, with another man advising at his side. And Captain sort of nods at him, very at ease, whether that's a deception or not, very at ease, and says, "It's been remarkable doing business with you. I hope to do some more in the future." To shake hands once more, he looks at all of you and gestures that it's time to leave, and all of you exit the store. They sort of lock it up behind. Sandyfoot sort of has some words with his men in Halfling and through Thieves' Cant, which Zalace you would just be able to interpret as, what do you think? Do you trust them to take it, or do you think they're going to take a run? He says, "They're not take a run. Our man's with them. And if they do take a run, then they're going to operate and walk the road again." Just sort of like this thing goes on, and you guys all walk down. The captain very much keeps his eyes forward. Passive insight very much to say, we're not going to speak of this until, we're not in mixed company. You make your way to the ship. The halflings are advised to stay on the dock with all of you. You stay there. The captain goes back onto the ship. About 10 minutes later, he walks down the deck somewhat modestly, somewhat quietly from the rest of the crew with a small chest that he presents to the halflings. They look inside. You see about 3,000 gold pieces there. They nod, close it, and smile and meander on their way. Captain says, "Now, the job of convincing the crew that this is the best course of action. I'd ask that you all not let on to the rest of the crew that the job has been pre-accepted. That would be difficult to explain."
I apologize, Captain. I didn't see that going down that way. I thought it would just be a mutual.
No apologies at all,
Of
Zalace. You
viewing.
brought us an exceptional opportunity. This was my decision and Sandyfoot's careful maneuvering, and I can't blame him. Well, I will, we will have our meeting in the morning, but yes, please, if we could keep the dealings of tonight under wraps from the rest of the crew. Makes me uncomfortable, but I don't see another choice.
Yes, Captain.
Certainly, Captain.
Bison looks at the commandant and says, "Since we'll have the guns on board, can you teach me about guns now?"
Perfect opportunity. Fantastic. And yeah, does anybody wish to do anything this evening? After the little dealing.
Yeah, so at some point through the night,
Okay.
I would like to go below deck and find Icarus. And I'd like to just sit, obviously, a good distance away and roll a couple of apples towards him. And
The
see how
dragon?
he reacts.
Yeah, you come down at the wrist, sort of looks at you, sort of roll some apples across the long deck of the ship. Make me an animal handling check.
16.
16, that is very good. What's the actual name of this dragon, minus the Z's I've thrown in there?
It's that just changed the Z's to R's.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, there is. Thank you. Yeah, with a 16, that'll definitely be successful. You roll the apple over, and it sort of like hits the edge of its talon, and it sort of looks down at it and tilts ahead. And Varsh, I imagine you're nearby. I imagine this dragon doesn't stay very far from you. And it's sort of like rolls its jaw a little bit. You don't know what it's doing, and then it just kind of looks down at the apple and there's a breath of cold, like liquid nitrogen-esque breath just spans across the. It's very magnified, but nonetheless, this cold breath blasts this apple and just freezes it crisp. And part of his talon and the deck, it kind of like freezes paws the first time he's ever produced its breath weapon. And then it sort of like wraps its teeth around the apple, sort of throws it in the air, catches it in the mouth, and crunches it like it was like a hard candy. And he swallows it. And maybe you can continue to do that, Zalace, and maybe have like a...
Yeah, I'd do a couple and just so that I make that connection and at a distance, because I'm still
Absolutely.
not quite sure.
I want to be friends with you, but from over here. Absolutely. Yeah. But the dragon very happily accepts your apples and continues to sort of like practice with its cold breath, and by the last couple apples has seemed to figure out how to make its breath weapon work, and has enjoyed a nice meal of candied icy apples. Not candied, but, you know, crisp apples, we'll just say. As crisp as they come. And sort of looks at you, blinks a couple times, and then it kind of just, like, curls itself up in tight, and hides itself to sleep. Decides not to eat you.
At that point, I'll leave and go to sleep myself.
Yeah, and you get the sense you have definitely formed at least an understanding that I am good, I bring you good things, you do not want to kill me. You have at least formed that sort of connection with the mysterious dragon aboard the ship, which, when curled up for sleep, looks very much like a nice cylindrical moon. Its scales almost giving it the look of craters ever so slightly. It's very interesting dragon.
Varsh will have observed all this kind of like with a slight smile on his face. Slightly.
Okay. Anybody else have stuff they wish to do? Okay. You all get a long rest. Morning comes a little earlier than usual. The captain seems to have roused the crew, but Varsh, Voidlight, your dragon, is nowhere to be seen. At some point in the night, it must have got up and wandered somewhere.
I am panicking as I go. Wait, hang on a second. Just check my. I don't know. It's down somewhere. I go into full ranger tracking mode. I'm gonna find this thing.
Make a survival check.
21.
21. You find the slight faint indentures of talon on wood, and you start following it. You are full Sherlock Holmes, ultimate tracker investigating here, and you make your way. It's made its way up deck. You make your way across the top deck of the New Dawn. And as you're making your way to the back side of the deck, you hear Mr. Voidlight from inside the internal cabins.
Oh no.
Mr. Voidlight! The door is slightly ajar.
I
Nobody's
rush,
there.
I rush over.
You find the Spelljammer is in her sort of. She's a little covered up. She was in her probably like her sleepwear, but she's like got something maybe just like her robe just kind of like over her shoulders, just kind of covering herself, and she's looking at you, sort of like, Mr. Voidlight. It seems that your companion has wandered into my room. Could you remove it, please? And as you look past the door, you see it just so innocently curled up on top of the Spelljammer helm. Very happy with itself, probably.
It's already started. I'm very sorry, Lady Spelljammer. I was doing some research the other day, and it would seem lunar dragons like to hoard spelljamming helms.
Very interesting bit of history, Mr. Voidlight. I don't care. Get it out of the Spelljamming helm now, if you would.
Ethereth, follow.
Rolls its shoulder and sort of like makes its way down the helm and sort of slithers past the Spelljammer. Thank you. Closes the door. And the dragon just sort of like looks at you with the most perfect little innocent face as if to say, what?
Perhaps we can ask for... We have a spare one, right?
You have a couple Spelljammer helms in the hold, yeah.
I'll have to ask the captain if I can borrow one just to keep you down below decks and not in her room.
Do you speak in Draconic when you say this?
Yes.
And I will say the dragon it's a little base, in its intelligence, but it is starting to pick up language a little quicker than perhaps expected. It's saying, Spelljammer, helm, like.
Yes, I'm sure it tingles when you sit on it. Anyway.
Tingles.
I go to find the captain to get permission to have like one of the spelljamming helms just like down where I am so I can keep the dragon under control.
You make your way to the top of the deck and you see the captain is sort of like pacing back and forth. He's kind of like almost like someone who's getting ready to say like a very important speech. He's kind of like privately just kind of wandering back and forth near the mangonel. You approach. Sorry, yes, Mr. Voidlight, is there something I could do for you?
I would like to nip a problem in the bud as far as Ethereth is concerned. He's
I see.
a lunar dragon, and they, like any dragon, like to hoard things, but lunar dragons have a particular liking for spelljamming helms. So they may have made their way into the Lady Spelljammer's room this morning.
Oh. What, is everything okay? Was there damage?
No, everything was caught up there, but she was quite understandably annoyed with the invasion, so I was hoping I could have one of the spare helms placed downstairs so that Etherith doesn't sort of wander in search of one.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm so good at these, except I'm not in the slightest. 11.
Do none
11.
of us have persuasion as a skill?
No.
What? This is my first party ever.
Oh shit!
To not have a face. That's crazy.
I should, but I don't.
That's fun. That's great. That's perfectly fine. I love it.
Antisocial veterans.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we're good at something and it's not talking. Goes, I usually seal those in crates so that we don't have any issues with. I'll make you a deal, Mr. Voidlight. You can, you may open up one of the boxes and produce the helm so the dragon is satisfied, but when would you need this? For the evenings? For the nights? How often would you like to utilize it?
If my honest answer is whenever I'm on board,
And I'll make you this deal. You may use one of the Spelljammer helms. You may unseal it from its crate, allow the dragon to utilize it so long as you are supervising, and when it is not in use, it is returned to its crate immediately. I don't wish to risk any Spelljammer confrontations if we're boarded and the ship is taken that way. You understand?
I understand completely. I can comply with this.
Thank you. Like, yes, very well.
Thank you, Captain. And I head down to go take up the spell-jamming helms.
Well, I'll say before you go, because the captain's about to try and persuade the crew to follow the venture that he has already decided for them in secret. The crew sort of rallies together. That's why you're up a little earlier. I'm not going to move all the minis around, but the nearly 20 members of the crew, so about 18 crew members, including all of yourselves, join the crew. Vito, Yesenia, the Commandant, everybody, the various elves, the Plasmoids, they all gather up aboard the ship. At sort of hangs out with you, Chaplain. Says, all right, we have been in the Rock and Brawl for a couple of days now, gentlemen and ladies and everyone else. We have a couple of opportunities that have been presented to us. Some of you have come to me, and there have been marginable profits of a couple hundred gold pieces, but I will propose to you the best ones I have found, the most profitable ones. And I shall allow this crew, as always, to have the option of which one seems the best. The first we have is a rather rudimentary, simple contract. We were to acquire a magic item and return it to the Rock of Brawl for a sum of 4,000 gold pieces. Who sort of, Because indeed, this is a relatively safe mission, routine. It'll earn us a steady profit. But there is another option that I have been presented with. A little more risky, in fact, quite a deal risky, but quite a deal more profitable. We have been offered to transport, and I'll be quite honest with you, gentlemen, as we are all a democracy here, in large part, a republic democracy, perhaps of some sort. You may all decide what that is, but I will pose to you this. We have been offered from one of the Underbarons of the Rock of Brawl to smuggle firearms back out to Glyph, and perhaps make a tidy sum. This sum is up to us how much we make. This is based on our negotiation skills, based on our perhaps haste. This is what will determine our profits. But more than that, there was another contract that may be layered on top of this for an even further profit. We have been offered a contract from, in part, some of you may have heard the organization, Xeno Termination Ltd, which is a group of expert alien hunters who have proposed to us to split the contract 50-50, earning us a tidy profit of about 8,000 gold pieces. The crew, oh, they like a double profit there. It says, indeed, 8,000 on top of whatever we make from the smuggled arms. So we could be looking at a profit of upwards of 10,000 gold pieces. The crew's like, all right. Says, but the catch is that we would have to face a threat like never we faced before. Perhaps any of you have ever faced, even during the Second Unhuman War. We would face an entity known simply as a cosmic horror. I won't lie to you, men. It is a great danger. A danger that could waylay a great number of spelljammers here. They would summon a large number of spelljammers to confront such a threat. If the Elven Armada was still present, there would probably be some 5 ships to confront, whereas we would only be confronting it with our 1, possibly 2 with Xeno Termination. The crew sort of shrinks from us. They go, this is... you go for the staff. They're dangerous too much. Says, but I ask you, men, before you make your decision, I ask you. Indeed, we have decided to commit ourselves to the mercenary ways, to profit, and indeed, this one has more profit. But there is great reward if we face this in many ways. For one, we would get connections with the Underbaron of the Rock of Brawl. No small connection, no small amount of access to jobs with one of the most powerful individuals on the Rock of Brawl, and one of the greatest ports here in Realm Space. We would get a significant profit, double, maybe triple the profits of if we just took the staff contract. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly to the people on this ship, we would be confronting a great evil and protecting the people of Realm Space from it. For everyone here is a veteran of the Unhuman War. You all gave your service and gave your comfort, your honor, your glory, your very trust in your moral code to the goodness of defeating the Scrow bastards from this place. And now, this multiverse has no Elven Armada. We do not patrol these skies, we are left to our own devices. And without the Elven Armada, this horror is left to roam free and take what it wishes and destroy what it wants. We have the opportunity to do good here, men. We have opportunity to do what the Elven Armada was meant to do. We are all veterans of that war, and our job was not to defeat the Scrow, not in truth, but to protect wild space from those who would claim dominion of it through tyranny and destruction. So I ask you this. Will you take simple profits for marginal safety? Or will we let the New Dawn be known as those who stood against the tide, threat, of danger? Those who made great wealth in the process, great connection, and great renown in the Rock of Brawl. What do you all seek? Glory, wealth, danger, the right, and good? Or shall we submit to these mercenary ways? Here's someone from the way say, but Captain, aren't we smuggling? What do you mean the right? He says, this is true. This is a fair point. We are smuggling. We are smuggling to make a profit, to increase our firepower that we might face this evil. It is dangerous. It is morally flexible. But I do believe in this instance the ends justify the means. So, New Dawn, what say you? Hassan, you had your hand up. Is there something you wanted to add?
Part of our work is to find work, because we don't work for a government, so we don't just have a paycheck. right? With
Everybody sort of nods. Yeah.
Chaplain and I made the contact for the staff. I have a feeling it's just a one-time work. Like they don't, they did not have a big list of work for a big group like us. It seemed like it was a one and done, or one and every now and then. But these other jobs seem like they would make other jobs. And if that's part of our job, then we could go get the staff of healing another time on the way to something else. Maybe is better. And Bisan will step back.
You may either make a persuasion check or allow your argument to lend advantage to the captain. Your choice.
I would like my argument to lend advantage to the captain.
Very good. Would anybody else have anything to add? As like the crew is a little like uncertain.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me roll the persuasion check first. Let me get that out of the way, and that'll sort of determine where the crew's sitting. So the captain's trying to convince them to take the contract with the Underbaron and the Cause of War. I'll lend that bonus time. So you lend advantage. He rolls a really decent roll. He rolls a 19. So he's got some people on board. Some people are like, yeah. The other people are like, Cause of War and Basan, you kind of do it. And they're all sort of making up their minds. I get the sense this isn't going to be like a resounding like, hoorah! Like, there's still some, there's going to probably be a vote at some point here. Chaplain.
Yeah, Chaplain will kind of make himself present and say, I say, long live Lunar Bow and long sail the new dawn. If we take this contract, one free round at the edge for everyone.
Okay. Make me a persuasion check.
Five.
Everyone's like, yeah. What about you, Varsh?
I looked at Evereth first and kind of like, particularly at the kind of key symbol on their head, I was trying to gauge what does the person behind me, the being behind me, want me to do?
Make me, yeah, sure. Make me an insight check.
17.
You're aware of how she is aligned, of what she cares about, and you know why she sought you. She seeks entertainment. And you can almost feel her on your shoulder, as if she were standing just right there, right behind you. Just almost like watching this moment. She's a very busy entity, but perhaps in this moment she's interested to see what will happen. If this will give her the entertainment she seeks.
I'm also taking into account that Ethelrith is still very young. I think we should. I think to go for the staff now would be a shameful course of action. We are all veterans of a great and terrible war, but we are fighters in our own way, each and every one of us. And while smuggling may not be our profession of choice in the past. We are here now. And with a great horror only a few days jump away, in theory, we should be looking to increase our fighting strength as soon as possible. Regardless of contract, that thing poses a great danger. I'm not suggesting we do it for heroic reasons, but for our own self-preservation. To be slow with increasing our fighting strength is to be foolish. We're on the clock, one way or another.
Actually raises her hand and tries to get Varsh's attention.
Yes, Bisan?
Right now, as we are right now, could we deal with this horror, or is it better to get more firepower for our safety to take this down?
Well, between the two remaining contracts, the staff and the smuggling, I would suggest taking the smuggling, as more money means more money for firepower. As we are, if we were to face the horror immediately, I think we would all meet a very swift and untimely demise. We need strength and fast.
Bisan nods and steps back.
Okay. I will say... Just trying to think about this mechanically. I'll say because Hassan has already lended a help action to this whole thing, Varsh, I will give you the decision to either roll your own persuasion check or give Chaplain advantage. Because Chaplain has already rolled, so I'd let him roll one more time because of you. Or you could roll your own persuasion.
I don't... Okay, given that my persuasion is like plus 0, I'll just give advantage to Chaplain. I hope that they have a higher charisma score than I do.
Alright, Chaplain, then go ahead and roll one more dice, like a re-roll, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, I should have good charisma, but I don't. So what? Persuasion?
Yeah.
5.
Oh no!
I was like, yay. It's all adding up. It's all adding up. Zalace, is there anything that you would like to add before the crew comes to their final decision?
So, I'm not going to address them directly. So while the captain and Varsh and Jason and Chaplain are doing their bit, I'm going to walk around and through the crew and just start saying, oh, they want to do it. They want to go and take on the smuggling, and we want to be the best, and just planting little seeds in people's minds just to try and coerce them gently into making the decision that we've already made.
Okay, so yeah, it's like Bisson, Varsh, and Chaplain are like making larger statements to the crew at large. Your Zalace kind of like in social circles, like, oh, I don't know, it could be a good idea. Like you're kind of like going from these people to these people because there is that like, you know, like 3 people over here talking about it, 4 people over here talking about it. You're kind of just trying to make waves. Why don't we call it a? I'll let you choose between deception or persuasion, Zalace. It's your choice.
I'll go deception.
So you're kind of trying to manipulate things in the right direction, which is a kind of deception, if you ask me.
15.
15. All right, so you're all making these larger statements after everything, but while that's all happening, Zalace is kind of like, so you know, Chaplain's like, and drinks at the edge, and Zalace is like, well, I didn't drink far pretty good. You know, he's like being that voice in the crowd, and the crowd begins to sort of come around to the idea where they've all talked for a minute, and the captain's kind of watching everything. He's making an insight check. He's trying to find his opportunity. He sees things kind of turning in his direction. He says, very well, let's put it to a vote. Whoever wishes to face the cosmic horror and the glory of, or nah, that's not it. As whoever wishes to face the dangers of the cosmic horror, and possibly earn the great wealth and titles on the Rock of Brawl that would surely follow if we survive, raise your hand. And Captain does. You guys do. All of you guys do. Very good. I assume Chaplain and Zalace do as well. The Commandant's in on everything, so he does as well, because he's going to help out the Captain.
Oh yeah, sorry, I did.
No problem. Which means we don't need too many more votes. That's like 7 out of 18. That's getting pretty close. So I'm going to roll for the rest of them. It's somewhat close, but because you guys have a crew of like 18, or no, you have a crew of 19 now. You guys get about 12 hands. It's close, but you do it. And with 12 hands up, and he says, "And just to be assured," puts his hand down. Whoever wishes to seek the magic item and a much more safer, but profitless bet, raise their hand. And about, I said 12 people raise their hand. 6 people raise their hands. And the captain kind of rolls his eyes and goes, "And whoever wants to transport goats to Toril, raise their hands." And this one plasmoid, it's like, "Come on, I thought it was pretty good." And says, "Very well. Gentlemen, I applaud your courage. And perhaps applaud your greed, too. For I think it will lead us to great glory. So, we hunt cosmic horror. Arrangements must be made over the next day, but we set out at dawn. Well done, gentlemen. Alright, I need some people to organize the movement of our shipment. Payment's going to be organized," and he begins to start making organizations immediately. He says, "I need most of the crew's strong men to move this way. All of you, I need you to do this." And he starts to make organizations immediately. The Spelljammer walks off the deck. She's got something to do in town. And all of you will be... you guys will be asked to be kept on the ship so that you can, like, help stow things in the cargo hold. The Commandant specifically asks you guys because you all seem careful. Zalace, you are, as previously asked, like, the Commandant and Zalace are basically going to be the major organizers of the transportation of stuff onto the ship. Chaplain, Varsh, and Vasan, you guys will stay on the ship and help transport it to the cargo hold. You guys are going to do some work today to get ready for your hunt tomorrow. He'll probably send you, Varsh, to Xenomation to sort of confirm the job. Captain will go with you. But we will do all of these things next week. We will make these organizations. And perhaps the crew will take on its 20th and final crew member for this hunt. Who knows?
I just want to point out, technically we're a crew of 18 and a dragon. For food purposes, we're a crew of 19. But we're not actually a crew of 19 for, like, voting purposes.
That's right. With the dragon, that's technically a crew of 20.
Oh, okay.
But we're not really counting the dragon. I would count more the... I mean, technically I should be. The ship can take more than 20 individuals on the ship. Like, if you guys decided you were going to transport passengers, you would probably take, like, another 20, if not 40 individuals, as long as you're not carrying anything. It's just about tonnage at that point. Weight. But I'm not really considering the dragon as part of the crew, as it doesn't help.
It's technically my responsibility anyway.
Yeah, it's more of a pet than an actual crewmate. So
Maybe
we're
when
at
they're older.
19, but we will have a full manned crew at 20, perhaps tomorrow. Or next week, who knows? But we will leave it at that. And hopefully my mods will be working. Big fingers crossed for that one. But I can run it either way. So, thanks for playing. I hope you guys had a good time. And Chaplain, man, good.
Nice work.
Good work. Good.
That was awesome.
You are the most devout holy man I have ever seen.